to the postseason?
Yeah, there's parts of their games and go, I have hesitation. And the team defensively rode the highs of takeaways, rode the highs of turnovers. That was again this past week. I could go to 3 quarters through the game against a team that just fired their head coach last week and go, they're going to lose to the Giants. That would be a bad loss at home. And then all of a sudden I can go to a quarter and go, that Caleb Williams, that offense, that big playmaking, yeah, that could be a team that could be a difficult out and get into the playoffs. And so I think that they're striving for consistency, both from a individual perspective and also a team perspective. I still am not counting out, even in that conference. Like, can Minnesota catch them? Yes. Can San Francisco catch them? Yes. Can Carolina catch them? Yes. So I think they're going to be playing meaningful games in December. That's a very big deal.
Listen, I'm coming off 17 years of listening to Nick Saban coach me up that scoreboards don't really matter when it comes to long-term success. So when A.J. Brown talks about the Eagles' offense needing to be better, it resonates with me. Is he a distraction to this team? Is this Eagle team sort of a paper lion right now with their offense not being at A+ as far as their performance?
He's only a distraction if they're sensitive. AJ, in his most recent comments, I think everyone to a man says he's right. And I love it. And my point has been, well, imagine if Jalen Hurts had said it. Everyone would be, oh my gosh, Jalen, what a leader. I love that fact that he's holding everyone accountable. But AJ says it, and it's a little bit of a negative connotation or talking point. And so he's telling the truth. This team's not going to beat the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Lions. And if it's a win or go home game and they play like this, they got to play better on offense. It's also the reality Devontae's become just as much as a number 1 wide receiver. Devontae Smith's become a top 5 performing wide receiver this year. And so there's only so many snaps and so many footballs to go around, specifically in a pass game that's not a pass happy offense. But they're going to have to, and I would be surprised that AJ doesn't have a big game this weekend. I think he's going to have a big game just because the style of defense Detroit plays are going to play him one-on-one.
Dan Orlovsky for a few more moments on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. The Giants job came open this week. There are a lot of parts that you like about that job for whoever gets it next on the offensive side when everyone is back to full health. And I don't even know how serious this discussion is, but it has been discussed in this part of the country of the possibility of Lane Kiffin. They might take a look at him. Obviously, there's a comfort level with Jackson Dart. Does what Lane Kiffin is doing now at Ole Miss translate to the NFL for you, Dan?
Yeah, no, it doesn't translate. I mean, obviously, I think very highly of Lane. I think he's proven to be a very good coach, both schematically and the way that he leads. I think it's thriving in college football. Would it in the NFL? I don't know necessarily. I mean, the tempo, not real in the NFL. You talk to 20-year-olds differently than you talk to 28-year-olds, right? And Lane's obviously got a history in the NFL. I don't see it working. I don't see it being a viable option. I also get very cautious of making decisions just for
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new Chicken and Bowberry Waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try Chicken and Bowberry Waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown,
Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show on a Friday, getting ready for a playoff atmosphere game with Oklahoma and Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium, where Alabama's still a touchdown and a half favorite, getting ready for a little revenge, spelled with a capital R, this weekend against the Sooners. We'll see if Alabama can deliver. We'll talk about that game throughout the day. Our Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3 already up for you at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Jim Dunaway, Ryan Brown, Lance Taylor is abroad. He'll join us here in a second. We are live with our friends at Bud Light, Adams Beverage, but Bud Light here at Innisfree today, the historic landmark in Tuscaloosa.
I mean, if you've ever been to Tuscaloosa, especially on a football weekend, you know where the Innisfree Irish Pub is, and we are here with our friends at Bud Light and Adams Beverage, and it is a big SEC football weekend. We got Oklahoma coming to town. We'll see if we see more Oklahoma fans this Friday than we saw LSU fans last Friday, which, what was that official count, 4? I think we saw 4 LSU fans.
4 at the Rabbit Hole. There were more inside the stadium.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They had the band.
They were not happy with the 50-second screen pass they tried to throw last week.
I mean, that was incredible how many screens they tried to start that game with. But we'll see if we see some Oklahoma fans. This is their first trip to Bryant-Denny Stadium in a very, very long time. First trip as an SEC team to Bryant-Denny Stadium. So, and it's a massive game for Oklahoma. So I imagine they'll have a pretty good turnout.
Must win for Oklahoma to keep their playoff hopes alive. An Alabama loss, and all of a sudden Alabama is going to go to Jordan-Hare Stadium with skin in the game, something you really don't want to happen. So it's almost feels like a must-win weekend for both teams here in Tuscaloosa. Let's bring Lance Taylor in here. We'll talk to Lance. First, Lance, I got to ask you, man, from the gambling side, before you tell us about Lance's lock. Troy gets their starting quarterback back last night. They're playing Old Dominion, and they're like a double-digit underdog. That one didn't make sense, and then the game plays out, and Old Dominion beat Troy 33-0. What did they know that the rest of the world didn't know last night?
Yeah, it was funny. Early on in that game, Dunaway, they were showing the standings in the Sun Belt, and Troy actually has a better record. They're getting the quarterback back. I laid the Old Dominion 10.5 last night. It was an easy winner, the 33-0 shutout. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those games where I felt like Old Dominion's the better team, but when you see it inflated to double digits, it really didn't make a lot of sense. But in the end, it did, because they won by 33.
If it does, you remember Verno used to tell us, Lance, if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense, right?
It absolutely, and we've seen some of those this year. And back to Lance's lock, man, we were 3-1 last night. We lost the Jets by a half point, so a half point away from a 4-0 last night. I didn't get to see one snap of that game. I don't know if you guys did. I heard it wasn't too entertaining. I guess it never is if Justin Fields is your leading rusher and John Mechie's your leading receiver. Not a lot of skill on that Jets team right now, but went up 7-0, couldn't hold on. And, man, when you look at, not to get on this, but real quick, I did want to point out, because I know we'll get to the NFL at some point, but the Patriots now are going to be favored in 5 of their next 6 games. So even if they go 4-2 in very easy games, they're going to be a 13-win team. More than likely, home field advantage in the AFC is going to go through Foxborough. In Vrabel's first year and May's second year, that is incredible.
It really is. I mean, they're going to win that division, which, Buffalo has seemed to have that division on absolute lockdown. But they are going to win that division, which is pretty remarkable to consider.
Yeah. Best record right now in the NFL is the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
So how do people sign up for Lance's lock, and then tell us about our friends at Heupel?
Yeah, real quick, 20-3, our last 23 free plays at Lance's lock. I mean, we are killing it. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. The numbers are the numbers. We're killing college football. We're killing college basketball right now. We're 9-4 to start the season there. We're slaying the NFL. But you can jump on board daily package, weekly package, monthly package, all available. LancesLock.com, brought to you by our friends at Heupel Services. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling. Any of those issues arise in your home or business, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, HempelServices.com.
I forget who said it last night on social media, but somebody said Justin Fields' new nickname is Tank.
Tank?
Yeah, because
Tank
Pete, your
Fields?
quarterback, you're tanking for the first draft. And I thought that was a pretty good line.
I completely bit. I thought they were talking about comes his running ability. That's pretty good.
So, Lance, you said you're doing great in college basketball as well. I was over down the street here to watch number 2 Purdue beat number 8 Alabama 87-80. That Braden Smith kid, I had a chance to stand next to him on the court during warm-ups. I mean, not shoulder to shoulder. I didn't walk up and say, "Hey, man, I want to measure you up for a shot right here."
You weren't getting the rebounds and feeding them back out.
But I was close enough to where I could tell he's my height, man. He's my height, and he goes 29 points last night. I told Brownie pre-show here that if he was a Duke player, he'd be the most hated guy in American basketball right now.
Oh, he is so freaking good in the second half that he had, and I was able to watch that second half. But, you know, it's funny, we talked about Trey Kaufman-Renn in the game that he had against Alabama last year, and he hadn't played because, you know, Matt Painter's like, he's got a hip pointer, his back's bothering him. We're going to see, you know, he's going to go. We'll see what he can give us. Well, he gave you a game-high 34 minutes and went for 19 and 15, and you know, as good as Braden Smith was, I thought that the difference in the game was obviously on the glass. I mean, Alabama got destroyed 52-28, and this was the second best rebounding team in college basketball last year. And you start to play this thing forward, and again, there's no reason to panic because, you know, this is arguably the best team in college basketball they played last night. But with no Cliff Amore, with no Grant Nelson, Mo Diabate, I mean, that was combined 20 rebounds for this Alabama team last year. And those three had 21 of the 37 rebounds against Purdue last year. So,
yeah,
you know, I just thought physically in the paint, and we talked about this when we did the broadcast, the ball in at Boutwell with Florida State, you know, who are going to be those guys in the paint that can get the tough rebounds and the tough points? And I think that's a question right now.
Couple thoughts from the chat room here. Samuel says, credit to Purdue. They won. They look incredible. But my Lord, is that a boring brand of basketball? It's a brand of basketball that's won a lot of games, hasn't maybe delivered at times where they thought it should championship-wise, but boy, it's won a lot of games.
Yeah, I said that press row last night to Mike Rodak, Bama 24/7. I leaned over and I said, it was 80-80 with a $1:42 to play. Alabama tied the game up. I leaned over and I said, my goodness, if this was the first or second round of the NCAA tournament, I'd feel really good because Purdue would choke this out right here.
That's true.
But they ended up running the table at the end there and winning the game 87-80. But LT, you're out rebounded by 24, 19 offensive rebounds, and still with a $1:42 to go, you just tied it up 80-80. I thought they were going to pull it out at the end despite the inefficiency on the boards.
When Millett hit that three to tie it up, I kind of felt the same. But, you know, you go back, and maybe it was the possession before. It was somewhere in that sequence back to Braden Smith where he almost lost the handle at midcourt, and then he comes in, takes it to the paint, you know, draws the contact off the glass. I mean, the guy plays so much bigger than he is, inside, outside, you know, has the 29 last night. You know, gets to the free throw line, 10 of 12 from there, obviously very active distributing the basketball, had 7 rebounds even at his size. It's just amazing how Matt Painter can go out and identify big guys. You know, they got a 7'4" guy in Daniel Jacobson that played limited minutes last year, but he's going to be, you know, an impact player off the bench. But you go out and you find a guy like Oscar Clough, who I thought was, you know, his 9 and 11 were really big points and boards last night. And, you know, from Washington State to South Dakota State, and they're able to get these guys that come in. And whoever said that was a boring brand of basketball, Brown, I know it's kind of old school because they have that inside out, but they still score in the 80s. I mean, like, and they're always in the top 5 under Matt Painter. So I think most 95% of the basketball programs would take that style of basketball.
Yeah, outside of UConn and Duke, just about everybody would sign up for that boring brand of basketball over the last decade or so, and that's what Matt Painter has brought. Now, to Jim's point, it hasn't always translated in the postseason, but boy, in the regular season, they are a tough out. I mean, that's about as good a team as you're going to play in the regular season.
Yeah. Lance, before you tell us about fractional financing, Tyler, give me cut number 9, if you will. Nate Oates afterwards. I was in the post-game news conference, and Nate Oates walked in, and he – the first thing out of his mouth is the quote you're about to hear. Cut 9. Here's Nate Oates after the 87-80 loss to number 2 Purdue last night down the street at Coleman Coliseum.
At the end of the day, the tougher team won tonight. Like, they all rebounded us by 24. That's embarrassing. You know, in life, in sports, Team that plays harder, people that work harder, and whatever field you're in, should win. And they won. They deserved to win. They were tougher. My guess is they prepared better coming into the game than we did. And we're going to have to fix some stuff.
Down the stretch, I remember the Final Four year. That was, to me, the worst defensive team Nate had here. And yet they played good in the tournament defensively, good enough to get to the Final Four. Lance, tell us about fractional financing. And then I want to ask you, moving forward for Alabama, Illinois next Wednesday, then Gonzaga and Vegas. The schedule doesn't get any easier. Fractional financing, and then a final thought on Bama basketball.
Hey, look, if you've got a small to mid-sized business in Alabama, Georgia, East Tennessee, the Carolinas, you're looking for that CFO service designed for businesses that need expertise, call our friend Rod Smallwood. Fractional Financial, Rod and his team provide expertise in the cash management, budgets and projections, accounting, payroll, annual reports. Fractional Financial does it all, not your typical contract CFO service. Fractional Financial works with clients face-to-face so they can make those informed, data-driven decisions to get their businesses to the next level. Contact them today, 704-614-2083. That's 704-614-2083, or visit them online, fractionalfinancial.net.
Illinois is going to, by the time Alabama plays them next Wednesday in Chicago, Illinois will be number 10 in the country, top 10 team, and then Gonzaga is going to be 6 or 7. Moving forward, I think we're going to hear what we heard in the soundbite from Nate Oates the rest of the year, Lance, is he's going to be challenging these guys just to be tough, tough, tough. He knows they can score. It's going to be the toughness he's going to be talking about the rest of the year.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because, mention the fact that Alabama was the second best rebounding team in college basketball last year. The best rebounding team in college basketball last year, the Fighting Illini, who they will see this week. And I am interested to see where these numbers are going to be because, Alabama, 6.5-point dog to St. John's, then they flip around their 4.5-point favorite to Purdue, and now coming up that loss at home. I think these are all probably right around the pick. But this gauntlet, and, I think you brought it up, Dunaway, last Friday when we were at the Rabbit Hole. Alabama could go 0-4 in this. They're already 1-1. I think if you're 2-2 coming out of Gonzaga, you feel great, right? I mean,
yes.
And Jimmy Dykes was talking about on the broadcast. I know, Brown, you heard it. Dunaway, you didn't get to hear it, but he was like, this is going to resonate. This Purdue win is going to resonate with the committee in March. And this could be, and it's crazy to think about with all the basketball that we've got in front of us, but that win could ultimately be why Purdue gets the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, Dykes did. He basically said that as like this game number 3 is potentially the difference between the overall number 1 seed and not getting it. I mean, that seems crazy to say, but I know how it works too.
It's not just Jimmy Dykes. Matt Painter said that in the postgame. He said this win will resonate. It's a resume builder for us. That's what Matt Painter said about a win at Alabama. It's their highest ranked road win since 1982 for Purdue.
I was surprised, Lance, and I know you look at these types of things. I didn't realize, but I just don't pay close enough attention to Purdue, how bad they have been in these situations historically. Like they had not won I think it was a top 5 or top 10 because Bama's not top 5, a top 10 non-conference road game in forever. I don't know if you were, I'm sure you were because of Lance's lock aware of that trend, but that's a crazy trend. I didn't know they had been that bad against the great teams on the road.
Yeah, one of the things, though, I mean, this matchup has just been really good for Matt Painter and Purdue. I mean, 3 consecutive wins against Alabama, and you're right. I mean, they haven't been great in these situations, but boy, they are going to be a handful moving forward.
No doubt.
Yeah. So in the meme world, it would be Matt Painter holding a baby, a little Nate Oates.
Nate Oates. I mean, Purdue's owned them.
0-3 in this stretch. They did it on the boards. They did it physically. One football thought from you. LT is going to join us again at the top of each hour. Fuhrman in the next segment. Jake Coker with us at 12:30 in person here at Innisfree as we broadcast live today. Also, LT, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, maybe you need to call our friends at CPAP Plus, Sleep Home Alabama.
Yeah, our friends, the O'Neill brothers, Woody and Joe, they've got locations throughout the state. They've got 3 locations in Birmingham that we're going to tell you about, but they've got a great promotion going on right now. And look, if you're not getting the proper sleep, I think I got 3 hours last night, not proper sleep. We'll catch up on that hopefully later today, but you need to make sure you're sleeping properly. You can get the sleep study done with our friends at CPAP Plus and O'Neill Medical, and right now they are running the Show Your Score promotion. Just stop by one of those locations in Birmingham, Pelham, Trussville, Inverness on Highway 280. No appointment needed. Show your ResMed My Air Sleep Score. Automatically entered to win a brand new ResMed Air Mini Travel CPAP worth $900. The Show Your Raffle Score runs through December 31st. Don't miss out. Get the details, o'neillmed.com. That's o'neillmed.com, O-N-E-A-L med.com.
Listen, I'll save your thoughts on Alabama, Oklahoma for the 12 and the 1 o'clock hits when you join us for those. And we'll get your pick 3 coming up a little bit later on. I did want to ask you about tonight's contest. It feels like Clemson all of a sudden with nothing on the line.
Now they're dangerous?
Yeah. They seem to be playing better football.
Right.
Louisville is still sort of sneaky ACC championship game contender, which I guess in that crappy conference that gets you into the playoffs, right? Most likely if Louisville can win the ACC championship. Jeff Brom's name's being mentioned at Penn State or anywhere else. They're working on a contract extension for him to keep him at Louisville. How come this feels like a Clemson win tonight over Louisville for me?
Well, probably because running back Isaac Brown unlikely to play. And, he injured his leg a couple of weeks ago against Virginia Tech, and now everything's on Miller Moss. I say that. Defense has been really good for Jeff Brom. I mean, they're 14th nationally in total defense, allowing less than 300 yards per game. And you look at Cade Klubnik and all the expectation coming into the season. He's only gone over 300 yards twice the entire season. Look, they looked pretty good this past week against Florida State. Florida State is one of the more head-scratching teams in all of college football. I don't know, man. It's a tough game. I completely stayed away from it. I've got the total in the late game, Minnesota-Oregon. Figure this out, Dunaway. I mean, the more talented roster is Clemson. Isaac Brown gave them problems last year. He's not going to play. I don't think Miller Moss. I don't think he's an elite quarterback that can take a game over. So I don't know. This thing could go either way. I really don't have a feel for it.
Okay, don't give me a lean here, but I will make a point on Minnesota-Oregon. Oregon, don't we have is it an old, is it a wives' tale?
Yeah, wives' tale.
That if you are around your dog long enough, the dog and you start looking alike. Have you ever heard that before?
It's true. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that look like their dogs.
Look like they're dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I know it's an old wives' tale, but yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people that the dog takes on the personality of the person.
Do you want to look like Bullet or Chili, Lance?
I mean, look, they're regal-looking dogs, Brown. They're all cut off and in great shape. Yeah, sure.
I'm telling you, I believe that the owners and dogs can occasionally start looking alike or take on the personalities you said. Enter Oregon, who's now in the Big Ten. LT, their last 2 games, Iowa 18-16, Wisconsin 21-7. They have broken Oregon, and Oregon now looks like the Big Ten dog.
Hey, and that Iowa thing, Lance, I mean, they could not throw the football. Now, the conditions were awful conditions. I get all that. They could not throw the football. Like Dante Moore couldn't move it through the air until that final drive when all the chips are down. To his credit, he figured it out. But prior to that, they couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah, until he had to. And some of the throws that he made on the road in those conditions, especially that out, I think it was down the sideline, maybe a third down, just an incredible. I mean, the only place he could have placed that, or only position he could have placed that ball. But I agree with you, man. Like, Oregon is winning with defense right now. The crazy thing is they still have a top 10 scoring offense, almost 40 points per game, but the defense has been lights out. And that is strange. I mean, they've still got – I don't think they've got any standout skill like they've had in the past, like a Tez Johnson. But it's still a good offense. I think this is one of those situations tonight where they're 25.5-point favorites at home. You know, if I'm Dan Lanning, as much as you can do against this Minnesota defense, which is pretty good, Minnesota's offense is awful. You got to get some style points internally. It doesn't matter, obviously, if Oregon wins out, they're going to be in. They probably could absorb a loss to either SC or Washington and still get in at 10-2. But I think you need to build the confidence of Dante Moore in that offense and score while you can.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you gotta feel some sort of bounce back on this, Dunaway. To your point, you're starting to look like your dog. And that is not Oregon football there. I'm not saying they can't win in that style, but they don't win comfortably in that style. And boy, it was not comfortable at all at Iowa. Now, listen, a lot of that had to do with Iowa's defense. Iowa's got a good defense. In that game, the weather, the location, the style of play, everything in that game favored Iowa, who's a good team. So that's an important, I mean, it's an impressive win for Oregon when you can go to a place where you face all those things and still win the game. I do think they need to get a lot of credit for that win, but I'm with you, man. I'm starting to wonder if they've gotten sucked into the Big Ten too much.
Yeah, 14-1 in Big Ten games, but they're starting to look like the Big Ten as they take on Minnesota tonight on a Friday night affair out in Eugene. All right, Lance will join us coming up a little bit later on at 12-1. Before you get out of here, LT, Woodhouse Day Spa. It's an opportunity to pick up that perfect holiday gift for the woman in your life, your wife or a girlfriend or your wife's mother-in-law.
I thought you were going to say your wife's girlfriend.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
Either way, our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa can help you out.
If you've had a rough week, go see our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Get yourself the gift of relaxation. But yes, you're right. The holiday's right around the corner. An easy gift out there that everyone is going to love is the gift of luxury from Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers right up on Highway 280. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail service. The Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com or just stop into the beautiful location, Summit Shopping Centers, and go see our friend Stuart. Tell them the next round sent you. I almost needed it, boys. I almost had literally a disaster, no exaggeration. I probably would have been in the hospital for, I don't know, the immediate future.
What?
Like almost complete disaster a second ago.
A second ago, okay. Well, so all right. So
no, right before I got on the before I got on the air with you guys. Yeah.
Huh?
So I'm staying at an Airbnb, and it's like one of the coolest places I've ever stayed. But it's very, very modern, everything in here. And this dude's got a coffee table. And so I was trying to adjust and play around and get the app set up on the TV. But the coffee table is about 18 inches off the ground, and it's all glass. And I didn't see it. And so I hit it right on my shin, and I fell forward, but I was able to kind of spin around. But if I would have gone through that coffee table, my shin's destroyed. But if I'd have gone through that coffee table, lights out.
Oh, yeah. I bet you unfurled a string of profanities like nobody's ever heard.
I would imagine one of your traveling parties would have been suspected for murder. It would have been like one of those thrillers where it was the lawyer and the wife ended up killing somebody with a hammer or something, whatever that movie is. They've been like, are you sure he fell into this?
I mean, an important question here. You're in California, Lance. Alexander Shinara, licensed in California, right? You could have used him.
You know, it's like the first billboard I saw for an attorney, they call him Sweet James. And I guess he's the West Coast version. Sweet James. I guess he's the West Coast. Yeah, very, very strange, but I guess he's the West Coast version of Shinara because I've seen some of his billboards out here. But, yeah, I'm sure they probably know who Shinara is out here on the West Coast.
Absolutely.
That's so funny.
All right, buddy, have a good rest of your day. Twin Peaks gets LT out of here. Tell us about Twin Peaks.
Go watch those two college football games we were talking about, the ACC with Clemson and Louisville, Big Ten, Minnesota, Oregon. If you're having problems with your YouTube, ESPN, ABC situation, Twin Peaks is not. They've got all the games on, and, of course, they've got that 29-degree signature beer served up by the Twin Peak girls rolling around right there in 3D. And remember, nobody does happy hour like our friends at Twin Peaks, whatever your preference. Everything from tequila cocktails, extensive bourbon category, top shelf spirits, cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Round out that great drink menu, second to none. Again, don't forget about the 29-degree draft, served lunch or dinner. Get into one of those locations today of Twin Peaks.
All right, that's Lance Taylor on the road this weekend. He'll be back a couple more times in the show. We're here at Innisfree with our friends at Bud Light, getting ready for a major showdown, Oklahoma and Alabama. Let's jump into that game a little bit. Tyler, if you will, give me cut number one, Kane Womack, getting ready for Alabama's defense to try to get John Mateer and Oklahoma's run game corralled up. Mateer runs with his legs, Brown. The old, I still see national analysts say this, It goes back to the Saban days. It's a different defensive style and everything, but they still say this about Alabama. Oh, Mateer can run it. And who hurts Alabama the most? Running quarterback.
That's right. Yeah, that does go back a lot of defensive coordinators, but is Kane Womack one of them? I mean, do you feel that way about Kane Womack? Has that been the thing that has hurt them?
Last year, Jackson Arnold, yes, in this game. Last year in the Michigan game.
Alec Georgie?
Yes. Last year in the Tennessee game, a little bit, Nico.
Last
year in the Vandy game, Diego.
This year
Florida
in the
State,
South, this year in the Florida State game, this year in the South Carolina game, Lenore Sellers, a little bit. So, I mean, there is some carryover to that. It's not just a Nick Saban era thing.
Yeah, here's cut one, Kane Womack, Alabama's defensive coordinator, on how he is looking for playmakers on defense to step up this weekend.
Typically, when you make plays on the ball, there's a confidence that you have in doing your job at a high level. And so you know what to do. You play with anticipation. I've told you guys this before. Defense is inherently reactionary, right? Offense comes out in a play, we react to it. But if you start to understand what we're doing at a high level, and you recognize what the offense is getting ready to do, right, then all of a sudden you can play with anticipation, and anticipation creates production. And so I think we've got guys that are playing with more anticipation as we go throughout the season. They're seeing more football. A lot of times you see the things that show up on tape that you've put out on tape, you're going to see those things again. Teams have a style of how they maybe want to try to game plan and attack us, and our kids, I think, are very aware of the weak points and weaknesses of a certain coverage or a certain pressure or whatever it may be, and so they're ready for those things and playing at a high level. And then some of it is just great instincts and in the moment, right? Can you think to punch the ball out, right, or create a strip in the moment? And I think you got guys like Bray Hubbard and Nakai and Deontay Lawson, to name a few that are doing those things.
The Oklahoma defense has been creating and helping the Sooners survive on the turnovers. So here comes Alabama trying to create some turnovers. And what doesn't get said enough about Kane Womack's defense is how elite they've had to be in the second half this year.
Yep.
Alabama has been so good at scoring points in the first half. They have been equally average, scoring points in the second half. And that has put Kane Womack's defense on the edge. They've had to play elite defense in the second half to keep Alabama in the South Carolina game, to keep Alabama in victorious formations in the Georgia game, in the Missouri game. That defense has had to step up in the second half because the offense, truthfully, hasn't been able to put teams away.
Alabama's offense has been a much better first-half offense than second-half offense, and Alabama's defense has been a really good second-half defense. You're right. It's almost – God, I mean, I hate to do this to Kalen DeBoer, but I guess it's always going to happen. You're going to compare it to the Saban era, everything. You remember the Saban era, Jim. If you were going to get Alabama's defense under Kirby Smart, Jeremy Pruitt, Pete Golding, any of those guys, generally you needed to get them early, right?
First quarter before they adjust.
Yeah, and then it was just like a boa constrictor. Alabama's offense would get the lead, and that defense would just start squeezing down, and they eventually squeeze the life out of you. And Alabama's defense now is starting to play that way a little bit. It is hard. Now, Missouri was able to do it just a little bit, but it's hard to move the ball on Alabama in the second half. Ask LSU, ask South Carolina. Really, their touchdown in the second half came from a blown call by the officials. Even if it's not a blown call, it's hard to pin that one on the defense because special teams turned it over and gave it back to South Carolina. Ask Missouri until basically garbage time, they were unable to move the ball effectively. It's really difficult in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get to a break, Todd Fuhrman coming up on the other side. The show today being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles as we're on the road today. Brownie, Bojangles is good on the road.
It is good anywhere. You can make a bow time at Bojangles. They've got those great hand-breaded chicken tenders and the great dipping sauces that go with it. And those bow bites are there now. Those small hand-breaded chicken tenders, they are so good. You can make it your tailgating solution for college or high school football, the college football watch parties, or your holiday parties as well. Bojangles can cater those holiday parties with the great sides, the great chicken tenders, the bow bites, and all the great dipping sauces like that peach honey pepper sauce. So whether it is tailgating, it's lunch, dinner, it's a holiday party, make it bow time.
And our storm restoration roofing quote of the day from the chat room comes from Zach. He says Kane Womack has that 4x11 index card of death. he reads off of every play. Storm Restoration Roofing will keep you from getting on your roof and giving yourself a roof inspection. Greg from Pell City, who was at the Hoops game last night as well, will be back for the football game tomorrow night. He gets on your roof, gives you that free no-cost roof inspection. He does it in a family-friendly way. He's got 10 kids. He and his wife own the company. They are locally owned for over 20 years, and he wants to make this as easy as possible for you folks at home. He does that with that free no-cost roof inspection. He does that by having a great relationship with insurance providers, the folks that come out and inspect your home and then write you that big insurance check. Greg gets you the maximum you can there. Plus, he's got financing available if you need that. A-plus rated storm damage repairs. Everything. He's got a builder's license. He can do it for you. Number on your screen, stormrestorationroofing.com, or Greg from Pell City right there on Facebook. Back to the wonderful Innisfree with our friends at Bud Light. Todd Fuhrman from Vegas on the other side.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with NextRound.store.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit NextRound.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. NextRound.store. The memories are waiting.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit UrologyCentersAlabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Couple of key injuries for Oklahoma as we get to Todd Fuhrman in Vegas. Mason Thomas, their big All-American style end, questionable, as is their big defensive tackle, Jalen Jackson. How much they can get out of them could be a key to Oklahoma, Alabama tomorrow afternoon at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Playoff implications on the line.
Todd Fuhrman will join us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. Shinara.com is the website to go to when you're in need of an attorney. You pay nothing, not a dime, unless they win your case. Shinara.com, Shinara.com, headquartered right in Birmingham, Alabama for more than 24 years. It's grown to a firm of more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members that has recovered more than $2 billion. $2 billion for their clients. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, Shinara.com, Shinara.com. It is the Shinara Hotline where Fuhrman joins us from Vegas. CBS Sports at Todd Fuhrman on social media. What is up, Fuhrman? How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well, and at this rate, gentlemen, you guys are going to be part-time residents in Tuscaloosa for the amount of travel you've done there this season, given Alabama's season thus far.
Dunaway's palatial condo is the only reason we haven't gone broke paying hotel bills.
Sorry. I mean, here for basketball last night, Innisfree today, back for football tomorrow. I mean, only a sucker would be driving back and forth to Birmingham.
Who wouldn't buy a condo?
Who wouldn't buy in Tuscaloosa at this point? Hey, Fuhrman, I know everyone around the country loves talking about 5, 6, 7 SEC teams in the playoffs. But the fear factor for Jim Dunaway always, worst case scenario guy, is Alabama can't get the dub tomorrow against Oklahoma and has to go to Jordan-Hare Stadium in a must-win game at the end of the year against Auburn. I hate that scenario. So I want Alabama to win this game tomorrow against Oklahoma. Where are you on the Sooners and what they're bringing to town and how you see this game playing out with your formula?
So that's the only reason you want Alabama to win the game tomorrow? Dunaway has nothing else to do with anything else in that equation?
There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons.
Yes. But no point spread reasons, right?
No point spread. No. I just need a W. I need a money line Alabama win. Yes.
As far as tomorrow's concerned, look, I was part of the early Oklahoma money. I took 7. I still think there's a little bit of value in the Sooners at 6. 5.5 would be my cutoff. Full credit to Alabama and what they've been able to accomplish this season. I mean, going out there and taking care of what I would call arguably the most difficult schedule in all of college football. The problem I have with Alabama and their ability to consistently win by margin is they've won some of these games, and they've been perilously close. I mean, you look at the yardage margins, winning in Columbia against Missouri, it was basically a wash, 325. Finished a net minus 37 the following week against Tennessee, despite a 37-20 scoreline, where that pick 6 right before the half really swung the game. And South Carolina, they needed a little bit of late magic to get that thing across the finish line, but were outgained in that contest. Last week, a little bit more prolific, a 29 win against LSU. But this is an Alabama team that I just don't see a path where they run away and hide from an Oklahoma defense that, even with a couple of key pieces, as you guys alluded to, being a little bit banged up, will still be able to pin their ears back and come after an Alabama passing attack that basically has to carry the team because the ground game really has been a work in progress. Now, the silver lining for Alabama is we've seen Kalen DeBoer in marquee games, especially against ranked opponents, not just from a straight-up standpoint, but an ATS perspective. He has been phenomenal. And it's not just while he's been the boss in Tuscaloosa, but in Washington and Fresno State before that. So, fascinating game for a variety of reasons, but I do think Oklahoma finds a way to hang around. And it wouldn't shock me at all if Alabama won, but it was Oklahoma getting the cash at the betting window, making me happy and you, Dunaway, at the exact same time.
That is the best world to be in right there, Fuhrman. Both of us happy.
I like it. It doesn't happen often, but, they say a sun shines on a dog's ass at least once in a while.
At least once in a while. That is absolutely true. Elsewhere, let's talk about Georgia and Texas, Fuhrman. This is another game where a team is playing in a likely must-win scenario. You can make a case for a 3-loss Texas getting in if they can beat A&M, but it becomes a very narrow path for them if they lose this game. Meanwhile, here's Georgia just hanging around, kind of nobody talking about them. They're easy in the playoffs right now. What do you see in Athens between Georgia and Texas?
I will make a case for Texas being a legitimate playoff consideration if they finish 9-3, which, as you mentioned, means they need to split most likely the game this weekend in Athens and the regular season finale against Texas A&M to really bolster that resume. That, of course, means they wouldn't trip up at home where they'll be a double-digit favorite next weekend against Arkansas, sandwich in the middle. So this is a Texas team that I think is getting healthy at the right time of the season. Arch Manning looks a little bit more comfortable leading the offense. We've seen the offensive line start to sort out a few of the things that ailed them early in the season. A couple of talented running backs, and defensively, they should have the services of Michael Taft back to anchor that stop unit. For Georgia, on the other hand, look, they put together their most dominant SEC effort of the season, going into Starkville, winning and doing so comfortably against the Bulldogs last weekend. And I'm not sure if it's Georgia flipping a switch or Mississippi State being a little bit too busy reading their press clippings, knowing that they had finally won an SEC game the week before. This Georgia team, a little bit unorthodox in the way they've gone about business. I mean, they've spent more than 2 hours so far this season trailing in football games. That's the most we've seen a team that's an 8-1 or 9-0 this late in the year trail since UCLA back in 2005. They've started out slow, but typically find a gear in the second half, and that's what leads me to making a case for Texas being a live underdog in the first half. I think Steve Sarkisian will dial some things up, test this Georgia defense early. Not quite sure how the game finishes, but I like the Longhorns plus a 3.5 in the first 30 minutes.
I can't imagine, though, Kirby Smart's team tackling as pitiful as Vanderbilt did on the edges in the last time Texas played. Everyone's making a case that Arch Manning sort of turned a corner. He had 11 passes at the line of scrimmage or behind for 172 yards in that game. Vandy was horrific at tackling on the edges. Georgia's got to be better at that. Does that scare you that Manning is playing a better tackling team in Georgia?
Oh, it's definitely a concern, and we saw that on full display from Vandy last week against Auburn as well. I mean, Cam Coleman and company went absolutely nuclear. I didn't think Auburn could put together those kind of passing stats here in 2025. But at the same time, the area where this Georgia team is so much different than the groups we've seen in the past, and I'm not going to rule out them being a legitimate national championship contender, is they don't have those NFL caliber difference makers along the defensive line. And I think that gives Arch a little bit more time in the pocket. And with 2 weeks to prepare for this game, I believe you're going to get a couple of wrinkles from this Texas passing attack. But it's also part of the reason that I want to get in and out in this game, because I do think if it's tight going into the break, that Kirby will make better adjustments. And we've seen it time and time again from this Georgia team playing their best football after halftime compared to what we see through the first 2 quarters.
Hey, before Brown gets to the next game, can I go back to Alabama? I mean, Alabama's such a good first half team. Is that the smart play with Bama most days as well as a first half line? I never looked to do that kind of stuff. Is that the way to look at the Tide, the way they're playing these days?
They've definitely got off to quick starts. I do think some of that's potentially negated this week, knowing that Oklahoma has had some extra time to prepare, so we're not quite sure what their script will be. But we've seen it, since Kalen DeBoer took over, that Alabama is at their absolute best in the first half, and kind of the Picasso for that is what we saw earlier this year in Athens against Georgia, where they raced out to an early lead, didn't score in the second half, but were so dynamic in the first 30 minutes of football that they were able to hold on for dear life. So I would never have issue with people that wanted to try and back Alabama early in games, especially in the first quarter, given how phenomenal these scripts have been offensively, knowing that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb have really been on the same page in trying to dial things up for Ty Simpson.
Ole Miss is playing host to Florida. This is a revenge game for them, much like Alabama and Oklahoma. It just seems to me, Fuhrman, Florida has packed this thing in. Ole Miss is playing. I mean, they dropped the spot in the standings. People are kind of ignoring them. Lane Kiffin is being mentioned for every job that's open, in the NFL and in college in a lot of cases. And here comes a Florida team that to me feels like it's packed it in, yet it's 11.5. What do you see in Florida and Ole Miss?
This game has had the biggest swings of any game that we've seen in the Power Four so far this weekend. And you really have to be riding the roller coaster with the variety of numbers that were available. We saw Ole Miss open as a 14-point favorite. This number got as high as 17 at some books out here. And now we've seen largely one-way traffic crashing it below that secondary key number of 14, as low as 11.5 that you mentioned, Brownie. We saw Lane Kiffin getting himself involved in the Twitterverse, tweeting out, or retweeting, I guess I should say, on 3, mentioning that DJ Lagway was benched for Florida last week in Lexington. And you have to imagine that gets under the skin of a Florida team, even a group that may just be playing out the string, trying to figure out what it's going to look like on the sidelines for them next season. And if there's one thing we've grown accustomed to with Ole Miss, even with revenge in games that they're supposed to win, when Lane gets caught up in some of the nonsense, you always worry about the on-field focus. I think the numbers you kind of throw out for this particular spot, so I can understand why there's been two schools of thought with such a wide swing, with people looking to lay a shorter number with Ole Miss and take the biggest number with Florida at the top of the market. It's not a game that I want to try and guess where Florida is from a psychological standpoint. From a talent standpoint, if Ole Miss wants to be there and they play buttoned up, they can win and do so going away. But we just have enough of a track record where the Rebels aren't always exactly the model of consistency, knowing that Lane Kiffin typically doesn't have them always focused, avoiding the rat poison like Nick Saban did in his heyday in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, before we talk about the big one, Notre Dame and Pitt, I want to ask you about Penn State, Michigan State, because I feel like you've taught me over the years not to get suckered in. And I look at Penn State minus 7.5, and I see them play. They were respectable against Ohio State. They played Iowa to the wire. They should have beat Indiana last week. Ever since they got rid of that James Franklin guy, they've been playing good football. So I see 7.5 against Michigan State, who can't even settle on a quarterback, and I think to myself, easy money. And then I remember what Todd Fuhrman taught you, Grasshopper.
Day, Grasshopper.
Don't believe it, man. It looks too easy. Penn State minus 7.5. What do you think of that game?
You get the Penn State team that we saw last week for 4 quarters against Indiana. Penn State wins this game, and they do so by margin. The problem is I'm not sure that's the same team that gets off the bus in East Lansing, knowing that sitting at 3-6, their opportunities for those marquee wins against either an Indiana or Ohio State have kind of slipped through their fingers. Michigan State waiting in the wings, trying to figure out, if they can put together a little bit of a run and get bowl eligible themselves. We've seen Jonathan Smith change quarterbacks to try and spark this team. And they were the wrong side loser, in my opinion, against Minnesota heading into the bye. The one thing we have seen from Sparty, when they catch points in these kind of spots, or I guess I should say Jonathan Smith in general, they've typically been very live underdogs. There's been tremendous two-way action on this game around that 7, because if you're leaning into your true power numbers, Penn State is a value proposition at 7 or better. If you believe that this Penn State team has played their best game of the season last week and you can short that stock, anticipating an emotional letdown, you find yourself on the Michigan State Spartan side. So for me, fun game to watch to figure out what these two teams are going to provide. Not a game I'm willing to get involved in before kickoff, but I do think if folks have access to live betting vehicles, this is a game where you'll find plenty of opportunities once you see which of these additions shows up for Penn State.
Yeah, Fuhrman, I like that. I don't know how many college games you've had to handicap where the head coach says, the outcome of this game doesn't really matter. It's more about another game, and that's exactly what Pat Narduzzi, the Pitt head coach, said about this game against Notre Dame. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I am saying I've never really heard a college coach say that about a regular season game.
And it's definitely uncharted territory, but here we are with a Pitt team knowing that their season won't be judged by a potential upset of Notre Dame this Saturday. With College Game Day in town, it'll be measured by getting a little bit of help from some of their ACC brethren, knocking off Georgia Tech and Atlanta, and then finishing up the regular season with a home victory against the Miami Hurricanes to give them a path to the ACC championship. Credit to Pitt. They made the change at quarterback, and Eli Holstein got benched. Mason Henschel came in and has really sparked this group to putting up crooked numbers. You look at what they've done offensively since Henschel took over. 30 points or more in all 5 games, and they've scored north of 35 in 3 of those games. So credit to the Panthers offense, but at the same time, you do have to consider the strength of schedule. Boston College, Florida State, Syracuse, NC State, and Stanford, not exactly a murderer's row there, gentlemen, like the Irish defense they're going to face here that has been phenomenal since their 2 early season losses against Miami and, of course, A&M. Over the last 7 games, you look at what they've done in the second half, they've allowed a grand total of 21 points in those contests. Now, I know none of those teams can throw the football other than USC as effectively as Pitt can. Pitt's very good against the run, so I'm going to put a little bit more on C.J. Carr. But this number is big, and it's big for a reason. I made the Irish a 13-point favorite here. Did nibble a little bit, laying 10 on the road. This is a playoff elimination game. The Irish win. I think they have a path to getting into the college football playoff at 10-2. Lose this, your probability of getting in goes to 0.00. I think Notre Dame takes advantage of the spotlight being on them here and shows people why they are power rated a top 5 team amongst odds makers and a lot of professional bettors. Irish win and win big. I just can't get there and lay the number where it sits at 12.5 right now.
All right, before we ask you for your under-the-radar game this week, I will ask you one NFL question. The Patriots now have the best record in the NFL. How do you handicap the AFC? I think it's very, very difficult. I like this Patriots team. I'm not ready to believe they're the best team in the AFC, but also can't say that they're not the best team in the AFC.
And the Pats' strength of schedule going forward for their 6 remaining games is extremely favorable. From a point differential standpoint, second in the AFC behind only the Indianapolis Colts. So there's not a lot of smoke and mirrors there from a win-loss standpoint. And for people who want to try and go, well, they haven't really beaten anybody. Well, they went on the road, took care of business on a Sunday night football game against Buffalo, and went on the road and beat Tampa last week and did so in pretty improbable fashion. So I do think you have to believe that this New England team will be a hang-around and going to be a difficult out given how well they're playing under Drake May and what we've seen from this team defensively so far. Are they the team to beat in the AFC for me? No, I'm not there yet. I still think the Baltimore Ravens, even the Denver Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs are all better than them, but they are headed in the right direction and a lot of reason to be optimistic about where this organization is now compared to where they finished last year under Gerard Mayo's leadership at 4-13. So fun watch here, but I don't have New England power rated amongst my top 3 even yet in the AFC pecking order.
All right, back to the college. Give us your under-the-radar game of the week. Give us one that nobody's paying attention to that Todd Fuhrman of CBS Sports really likes.
Normally we go to the Mountain West for these games because it's right in my backyard, and I came very close to going with Wyoming plus the 3.5 against Fresno State, but I'll keep a game a little bit closer to home for you folks there. Wake Forest, fresh off of their upset win against Virginia. They did so in not exactly standard fashion, given the fact they needed a punt return, a couple of field goals, and were dreadfully awful offensively moving the football. I don't think they deserve to be a 6-point favorite over anybody in the ACC, especially at North Carolina's side that is trending in a very positive direction defensively. While people wanted to throw the baby out with the bathwater and Bill Belichick, I understand the offense has not lived up to some of that preseason hype with Gio Lopez, but at the same time, the defense is rounding into form. And if you're going to give me 6 points with what I think is one of the better defenses in the conference, no slight to Wake Forest, who is equally as good, this just feels like a low-scoring, ugly, defensive-minded football game, with 6 being a massive number. I'll take North Carolina plus the 6 against the Demon Deacons.
Kind of like that play. Carolina's played improved football. Fuhrman is right there.
Yeah, I'd play the under. I don't think it gets out of the teens.
Yeah, I don't know what the total is, but Dunaway's probably right, Fuhrman. There's not a lot of offense in that game, I don't think.
Nope, and we've seen that total, to Dunaway's point, get bet down from 40 to 38. So it makes those 6 points all that much more valuable. And you hope that Wake Forest's special teams can't try and provide a little bit of cloak and dagger there at North Carolina. If they can get to 17, I think the Heels will be fine, but 14 might be enough to get us across the finish line.
Wow. Wake Forest, North Carolina totaled at 38. I appreciate those young men, the service that they'll go endure once they're through with college there at the service academy.
You don't get to see the triple option much anymore, so watch it.
Yeah,
it's a turn back the clock type game, like what we grew accustomed to when LSU and Alabama were at their defensive peaks.
That's true. 9-6 just down the road from here at Innisfree. Dunaway, I'll remind you of that. All right, Todd Fuhrman, CBSSports.com, at Todd Fuhrman on social media is where you follow him, and he is kind with his time to join us each week. Fuhrman, thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the games.
Pleasure, gentlemen. You guys as well.
All right, buddy. Take care. Todd Fuhrman with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And before Brownie tells us about our friends at A+, I want to remind you the Pants Store here in Tuscaloosa, also down at Auburn, where we'll be on Black Friday, right before the Iron Bowl. We'll be down at Auburn. The Pants Store has locations there all over Birmingham, Huntsville, pantstore.com. Great Alabama Auburn gear for the holidays with our friends at the Pants Store, pantstore.com. You can jump on and get the wonderful polos and the quarter zips and the hoodies and the sweatshirts and all the great gear for the female fans in your life, the rompers, the dresses with free alterations and free gift wrapping as well. Gentile, Antigua, Cutter and Buck, all the great name brands, pantstore.com, pantstore.com, and our friends at A+.
When it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown house, my wife, Jennifer, scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy she kept coming back to time and time again. People said, we've used Brad. We really like his work. She read reviews. I mean, all that stuff. And Brad was the guy we ended up going with. I'm glad we did because his crews did tremendous work just remaking our entire master bathroom there. He specializes in master bath kitchen and master bedroom closets. That is his specialty. It is not to say it's all he does, but it is his specialty. And you can let Brad do your work there. See more at alabamabathremodels.com. That is alabamabathremodels.com. The reason I point out those rooms are his specialty is a couple. Number one, you live in your house, you're going to enjoy those rooms, right? The master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom when they're updated and functional. And number two, when you go sell your home, you're going to make some of your money back on those rooms. You can also give Brad a call, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
Bobby says, boom, I already had North Carolina before hearing Fuhrman. Belichick, can you get this team to a bowl game?
What's their record?
I don't know. That's what I was going to check.
That was the question?
Yeah. North Carolina's second. They're 4-5. Yeah, he can still get them to a bowl game. 4-5, second straight ACC win.
I haven't looked at their schedule. I'm guessing they got Duke at the end, which is obviously a winnable game. Duke may win the ACC, but could also lose to North Carolina very easily.
Yeah, I mean, the ACC could actually be cheering for North Carolina to win that game to keep Duke out of the ACC championship game in that worst-case scenario for them. Interesting on what Belichick has done, and he keeps saying not interested in other jobs, wants to do something meaningful, according to Diana Rossini there in Chapel Hill. Interesting game there. Bobby excited about it. Fuhrman excited about it. All on North Carolina in a low-scoring game. They won 2015 last week against Stanford. All right, before we get to the pick three, you can go play that at nextroundlive.com, by the way, nextroundlive.com. We'll do that in the next segment. Forrester will lead us off. Lance will join us back to give us his picks as well. But you can go to nextroundlive.com up until kickoff on Saturday. And thanks to our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings and Breakline, you can play the pick three there. And you don't have to play every week, just 1 week. If you go 3-0, you get a ball in the bucket, lottery-style drawing at the end of the year for a grand prize winner. So you just have to win 1 week. I've won a couple of times. Several people have more balls in the bucket. It's a theory in life. More balls in the bucket, better chance you have of being a winner. You get that at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Our friends at Michelson Laser Vision, Brownie, a place you've visited, they bring you the viewing menu.
They absolutely do. MichelsonLaserVision.com. That is the website you go to. Lance is the one that really tipped us off on this. LASIK surgery changed his life. Took him from basically close to legally blind to giving him close to fighter pilot vision. That's the work they can do for you. Now, Jim said I visited. I did. I was a candidate, but there were going to be some, decisions I had to make that my near sight, right? So I just decided not to do it. But that's who you're dealing with Dr. Mark and Jennifer Michelson, the father-daughter combo there. They're not just going to drag you in there and do surgery. They want to make sure it's the best thing for you. 969-8100 is the number. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Christmas is coming. Give yourself the gift of vision with Michelson Laser Vision. MichelsonLaserVision.com or 205-969-8100. Tyler, what you watching?
Whoop, my bad. I still had it in the setting to let you guys on the air and not talk to the people. Okay. But we're good now. We got a re-release tonight. I will not be attending it because it's the re-release of Wicked ahead of the new movie. But a lot of people love that movie and would love to re-experience it on the big screen with the best sound system. So that is out there, but just know I will be avoiding you if you're going. I'll be planning my movie trips around yours. Next up, a new release. We've got the movie Keeper. The synopsis of this is very vague, and that is purposeful because it's directed by Osgood Perkins, who did Longlegs and The Monkey, and he likes making these very wild, off-the-wall horror movies where you really need to go in blind. And the synopsis is, a wife becomes isolated in a secluded cabin and has to fend off an unspeakable evil. That's all I can tell you about it. Netflix has a new live event tonight. It is the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight. We'll see how that works. Let's see if Netflix has improved their live system and see if we actually get a fight this time.
Yeah, that was an issue last time. There's no doubt about it. On both sides, the live was a complete disaster and the fight was worse than the live.
Yep. Hopefully we don't see Jake Paul's bare butt like we did with Mike Tyson. Because I didn't
we did get that too, yes.
And then finally on viewing menu today, Disney Plus has added one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters to its catalog. So this isn't a recommendation or telling you to stay away. This is, if you want to watch an absolute train wreck, watch Madam Web. It is a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. And they kind of beat around the bush on if Spider-Man can be included because of legal issues. And it's just absolutely abysmal. Every decision made in the filmmaking process of Madam Web was the wrong one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tyler,
to give you an idea.
That's what Tyler's watching. Brought to you by our friends at Michelson. We're on the road at Innisfree. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Your perfect weekend spot at Innisfree. And also for game day tomorrow, the last big home regular season game of the year. The place will be hopping tonight and all weekend long at Innisfree. When we come back, we will do our pick 3 conversation. Lance will rejoin us from the West Coast where he's out there. And later, Jake Coker in person here at Innisfree. He'll join the show, scheduled to be with us at 12:30 as we continue on the next round, being brought to you today by our wonderful friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, with 16 locations right there in the Birmingham area. For over 70 years, the best urological cares in Birmingham. They'll take care of you. Just go to urologycentersalabama.com. urologycentersalabama.com. Schedule an appointment from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. 70-plus years of great service at those 16 locations. urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. Nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at Nextround.store. Take the next round anywhere with Nextround.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles, The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We'll get to the Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3 here in a second. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com. You can play all the way up until 11 a.m. Central Time. Kickoff on Saturday for the early window games. Last night in basketball, number 2 Purdue in town with a lot of Purdue fans. 87-80 over number 8 Alabama. Tide plays again against what will then be a top 10 Illinois team coming up on Wednesday in Chicago. Auburn gets number 1 Houston, 2 o'clock Sunday over at Legacy Arena in Birmingham. That game coming up on Sunday as Auburn tries to shock the world and beat number 1 Houston after Alabama failed to beat number 2 Purdue last night in basketball.
I was talking to some early audience members here before the show started. They estimated 1,000 Purdue fans there last night. They said there were a lot of Purdue fans that traveled for this.
Yeah, they get the allotment, with friends and family. But there were, I saw some guys walking back to the car. There was probably 8 of them. They were on a guys trip. As I said, it was Purdue's biggest road win since 1982 when they beat Louisville at Freedom Hall.
It's wild.
So a big road win. It was a big game for them, and they were loud in Coleman last night in that win. We're at Innisfree, Brownie, with our friends at Bud Light.
Yeah, you can come by, as so many people have already, and enjoy some great Bud Light products with our friends from Adams Beverage. And also, a great meal at Innisfree. Innisfree Irish Pub is a great place to come for lunch and hang out with us. We're back on the back patio if you're not watching us. And it is a spectacular day out here. We just got a lot of people hanging out, having some fun, getting ready for a good football weekend as Oklahoma comes to Tuscaloosa. We haven't seen many Oklahoma fans, but I'm told to expect a lot. Somebody, I believe it was Jennifer, messaging us earlier in the show. She's flying back to Birmingham today, and said her flight is full of Oklahoma fans.
Yeah, now a lot of I know their team and them are staying in Birmingham.
Right.
And if you're in the Birmingham area, I think this is the weekend that 280 is going to be shut down.
It starts at 11 p.m. and goes to, I think, 5 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay,
yes.
So they open them up during the day.
It's during the day. I could not imagine if they shut it down during the day, but yeah.
Because I thought they were replacing a bridge.
They are. But apparently they can do the work they need to do in the short sections. It's the pump. It's if you live in Birmingham.
Pump House Road,
right there, crossing 280. I think I read 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. I think it's only 6-hour shifts that they're shutting it down.
Oh, see, I thought there was a part of it that it was totally shut down.
At night, yeah, but not during the day. I mean, very late at night / early in the morning.
Okay,
yeah.
I misread that because I was planning on
not going on 280.
Yeah, crossing 280 if I could get across 280 to start heading to Tuscaloosa back way tomorrow for the game. But hey, good luck to Oklahoma staying there. I was trying to think of getting from where they're staying hotel wise.
Oh, how about
with
that?
280 shut down.
Yeah,
them trying to make it to Tuscaloosa.
It's a forfeit. Alabama wins at a forfeit.
Yeah, good luck to all the Oklahoma fans who are in town trying to navigate the traffic. Try to get wherever you're going early if you're a Sooner fan listening up in the Birmingham area. All right. Time for the Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3. Before we do that, Brownie, tell us about the great folks at New York Butcher Shop.
Yeah, New York Butcher Shop is a place we all love to go. New York Butcher Shop, they have got the great steaks, the great sides, and don't forget with this Thanksgiving, let New York Butcher Shop do the cooking for you with the Thanksgiving sides, the turkey. I mean, I'm talking start to finish, man. We talk so much about the meat that you get there, rightfully so. If you haven't tried their sides, you are absolutely missing out at New York Butcher Shop. 2 great Birmingham locations, Cahaba Heights and the Greystone area. New York Butcher Shop, Jim and the entire crew will take care of you, whether it's just grilling out over the weekend or your Thanksgiving plans. Make them New York Butcher Shop part of your Thanksgiving. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well done service.
Pick 3, it's time for the pick 3. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for Pick 3.
And the Pick 3 is brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, where you get the value bundles there. The wonderful wings, of course, is right in the name, Buffalo Wild Wings. Crispy chicken dippers, all the great appetizers, the burgers, the wraps, the salads, and, of course, the ice-cold beer and drinks that you go with the great sauces at Buffalo Wild Wings. And the great TV setup, they bring you the Pick 3 every week. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com. Forrester's going to put up the standings for us right now. Forrester, how's the standings going for those on the audio platform? Tell us how the standings look.
Okay, so the only real change in our standings was that Brown fell further from the top because everybody other than Brown went 2-1, and he went 1-2. So we got Lance atop the pile here at 20-13. I'm at 18-15. Brooks 16-17. Dunaway is at 15-18, and Brown bringing up the back of the pack 11-22.
Now Lance is about to make his picks from the Pacific time zone, so I think that's going to impact his performance.
Okay, before we get Lance back on, let's see Forrester's picks, because it's AI.
That's right.
And we may want to get a couple of AI runs out of this here.
Okay.
And, this will give Lance time to see it and react as he's watching on the app out in the West Coast. All right, Forrester, give us your Pick 3 picks.
All right, Jim. Do you remember what you challenged me to do earlier in the week?
I challenged you to have a clean show. I can't remember what.
It's always a challenge with Jim.
Okay, we're gonna throw it back to the Texas high school Valero scene here. So this is the
coin toss.
Yeah, so this is the actual video. Just in case anybody isn't aware of what we're talking about here. The deciding a playoff spot with a coin toss.
Right.
Here is my version of it.
Okay.
We got Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss flipping for a spot in the SEC championship game. Lane's gonna win it. I tried to make Kirby call a timeout. My robot, as Lance would say, has no idea how to make a hand signal for a timeout. Mike Elko's going to fall out over there.
Oh, and Mike Elko, man, that's big.
Greg Sankey's enjoying a bourbon.
How thirsty is Greg Sankey?
Yeah, Greg Sankey will stop drinking. That's pretty good there, Scotty. I like that one. That's one of your better efforts there.
Yeah, I'm glad I challenged you to do that. Yeah. Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss.
Yeah, I actually kind of hate the picks, but whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, you had to do something for the AI. Scott's making his picks based on the AI now.
Yeah, let's bring in Lance, who's back on the West Coast, away from Innisfree today on our final trip to Tuscaloosa, as he gets ready to make his picks. He's leading the way. He's our leader, and I guess he's hot at LanceBlog.com. You expect him to be hot with a Pick 3. How you doing, Lance?
So did I get a 3-0 or a 2-1 last week? Because I had Auburn, and I don't remember what we got the number.
Scott said 2-1. I think
you were 2-1.
Game it's 6.5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So that the old overtime blank slate.
Yep.
Killed
so
you
that's
on
a
that
loss for both of us because I had it too.
Go to OT to die, and that's what happened. Boy,
that's right.
That was a tough one to lose.
Yep.
But nonetheless,
as Landmine Believer points out, these are about to be 10 a.m. body clock picks for you, Lance. It's the 10 a.m. body. Actually, that's not the way it works. It's the 10 a.m. It's body clock should come back the other way.
That's right. It's easier going east to west than it is west to east.
Yeah, so these picks are going to be easier on you because you've gone east to west.
Well, I hope so. I am going to take the Miami Hurricanes minus 14.5. Look, the committee told us on Tuesday night they believe they're the most talented team, the highest-ranked ACC team, and although they've got the two blemishes, they've got every opportunity to win out and maybe slip into the college football playoff. I think they need some style points as well. They're going against the 111th scoring defense for the Wolfpack. Wolfpack 2-4 their last 6 out against the number. I like Miami big, laying the 14.5. Utah. Look, there are 3 teams that could easily win the ACC out of the Big 12. Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah. Unfortunately, Utah is 0-2 against those 2 teams, but they're 8th in scoring offense. They're 8th in scoring defense, 9-2 their last 11 against the number. number continues to go up. This is the 100 scoring defense right now for the Baylor Bears. They're 1-6, their last 7 out against the number. I like Utah minus the 8.5. And finally, Sark exercising some demons in Athens. This Texas offense starting to get a little bit of an identity. Arch has gone 300-plus and 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Although Georgia has been scoring and Gunnar Stockton playing much, much better, I'm getting a full touchdown here. I like Texas plus 6.5.
Can I get you as far as to Texas winning this game outright? I know 6.5's a lot of points there, but can I get you that far, Texas winning this game outright?
You can. I mean, look, they're 13-2 their last 15 on the road under Sark, so they've been winning on the road. They've scored 79 points over the last couple of games. Again, Arch is playing at a high level. The defense is still getting up less than 17 points per game. And, Georgia's just not the same. I think if Georgia could get pressure on the quarterback, and we've talked, a lot about only 13 sacks through 2025, that's a problem. And I think it's going to be a big problem here. And I really, as good as Nate Frazier was last week, I just don't think they're going to be able to run the football at will against this Texas defense. So would not be surprised. I think it comes down to a final possession. And I think Texas very much could win this game, Brad.
Lance's picks today and the Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3 also brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling. LT, as you travel, I know you always like to have a good cocktail with our friends at Company Distilling.
Absolutely love it, Dunaway. Unfortunately, not available in California yet, but it is available in our fair state of Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee. Texas is expanding. If you're in a local package store, ask for it by name if they don't have it. Tell them to get it. Also, Company Distilling, 3 must-visit locations across Tennessee. Townsend, located in the heart of the Smokies. Lynchburg, charming historic setting where guests can enjoy Southern hospitality and a more intimate whiskey experience. In Thompson Station, just outside of Nashville. Whether you're on a weekend getaway or planning a whiskey road trip, these are 3 must-visit places. For more information on the great product and those locations, CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama.
Our Company Distilling chat room question for you, LT, is first, Matt thinks A.K. Deere will see some action. Hadn't seen him in meaningful carries in a long, long time. This Oklahoma-Alabama game, your thoughts on Brent Venables as the Oklahoma coach away from Norman? And he's got a banged-up arm, Mason Thomas, who may try to play, Jalen Jackson, who may try to play. Give me a first thought about Oklahoma-Alabama.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma's going to have to win it with defense. Look, they've already got 3 ranked wins this season. I mean, that's strong. Say what you want about Venables, where Oklahoma is. A lot of people believe they're a year ahead of where they should be. Mateer hasn't been good in conference play, so I think it's going to be this defense. Look, best red zone defense in the SEC. They're only allowing 42% touchdowns once teams get into the red zone. I think Alabama's going to have a problem scoring. I like Oklahoma to cover this game. I like Alabama to win it. Again, I mean, Kalen DeBoer 19-3 against ranked opponents, 15-2 ranked on ranked opponents. He's 12-0 at Bryant-Denny. He just doesn't lose these games. And I think the end of this year, we might be saying Kalen DeBoer, best coach in college football.
You stood by that one for a long time, even when it might be difficult to do. I don't disagree with you. Guy's a fantastic coach. And one thing that makes him fantastic, Lance, you kind of touched on it there. He doesn't, I mean, he's used to being in close games. I mean, even at Washington, Lance, for people that didn't watch him there, some of the big games they played, those were tight games. They didn't blow people out.
He was 12-2 in one-possession games at Washington.
Yeah, I mean, this guy plays a lot of one-possession games and wins a lot of one-possession games. He is not at all uncomfortable if it's less than a score in the fourth quarter.
I mean, they're 3-0 this year in one-possession games, but I think they were 2-3 last year in one-possession games. So at Alabama, I think he's 5-3. Am I wrong about that? Did I do the math wrong? Still overall great. He was fantastic.
That might be right.
Sioux Falls, 12-2 at Washington. You can't argue with that.
I'm trying to remember offhand. Georgia was a one-possession game
this year.
No, last year. It was this year too. Yes, but I'm just going back to last year. Georgia was a one-possession game.
I think Michigan was
at the loss. Tennessee ended up being a one-possession game, right? And a loss.
Vandy, one possession, I think,
and a loss. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe you're right on that one.
I mean,
so,
all right,
Lance,
coaches,
throw out last year, and this guy's terrific in these one-possession games.
Yeah, I mean, elite coaches win one-possession games, and I think another factor to look at is how good he has been as a Power 4 coach in the month of November. We talk about, and it's kind of a joke, I mean, I just laid 14.5 with Cristobal. He can't win in November. But Kalen DeBoer, You go back to the 2 years at Washington and the year plus now at Alabama. He's 12-1 in the month of November. His one loss last year to Oklahoma.
Wow. And that's the one they're trying to avenge this week. And it was a terrible loss. So, yeah, I mean, all the stats tell you that this is Alabama right here when you start talking about Kalen DeBoer. Coaching against a ranked team, coaching at home, coaching in November, coaching in what will probably be a one-possession game. I mean, all of that favors Alabama in this situation. There's no doubt. But you're right there with Fuhrman, and I've heard a lot of people say this. Alabama wins, but it's going to be a tight enough win that Oklahoma gets inside whatever number. Fuhrman said he got it at 7, Lance. I've seen it at 5.5 in some places this morning. Don't know exactly where this thing will go off. Fuhrman said 5.5 is his lower limit, though. He's not willing to go below that.
Yeah, I was going to play it. I'm sending out plays for tomorrow right now. I'm going to have 9 total, I think, is going to be the number. And I was going to play Oklahoma, and I settled on the number of 6. I just can't do it because the Oklahoma offense, to me, is that bad. And I think this Alabama defense is kind of unheralded right now. I think more people are going to talk about Alabama's defense as we move through the year. And then another factor, there's only 2 teams in the last 15 years that have beaten Alabama in back-to-back years. Nick Saban was so good at the revenge tour. And I bet you guys can probably name the last 2 teams or the only 2 teams that have beaten Alabama in back-to-back years the last 15.
Ole Miss, it's what got Hugh Freeze the Auburn job.
Yep, 14 and 15.
And LSU in 2010 and 2011.
Nope. It's going to be a little more obvious. You're going to go, oh, damn. It was Nick Saban's last loss against Jim Harbaugh in Michigan and then last year in the bowl game. So those are the only 2 teams in the last 15 years. And, Oklahoma rolling into Bryant-Denny, they obviously got an opportunity here, but I couldn't pull the trigger.
Dr. B bringing you LT's conversation from the West Coast. He pulled the trigger a few years ago on saving that hairline with Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. Beckenstein is the best in the business. Doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. When you start to lose, you want to make sure you get preemptive about this. You want to maintain what you've got. You also want to grow some back. I'm speaking from experience. I went to see Dr. B when we started our new platform back in 2021. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. Hair has more than doubled in thickness. Call Dr. B and that great staff today, 205-319-0316. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online. Don't even know if they work. Stop wasting money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. Beckenstein and that great staff. Find out what will work for you. T3's got that test. It's easy, painless, affordable. Takes seconds to perform. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, t3hair.net.
This could be if he's going to win the Heisman, a Heisman game for Ty Simpson. If he can put up numbers against this defense, is a well-respected defense, it's going to be a game that is going to get a big TV audience. If Heisman is in the future for Ty Simpson, you're running out of games now in this college football season, but this could be one of those that resonates when it comes time to vote.
Well, I agree. When you're talking about the 7th scoring defense right now in college football and how dominant they've been, if he was to put up big numbers here, and look, people are talking about, Mendoza right now, and Mendoza's been really, really good. Jeremiah Love's been really, really good. Julian Sayan's been good, but nobody's taken this and run with it. We've seen this over the last decade plus. Guys typically win this award in November. So he's going to have opportunities, and, he's got to make the most of it. We know they're not going to be able to run the football. So if Alabama's going to have any success offensively at all, it's going to be on the shoulders of Ty Simpson, the guy that's only turned it over one time the entire year.
His last chance to do it in a meaningful home game. The other game of the regular season could be down at Jordan-Hare, or will be down at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Final question before you leave this segment. Inverness Country Club's question. Think about it as you tell us about Inverness Country Club. Alabama loses tomorrow. What would that point spread be like at Jordan-Hare Stadium with playoff on the line for the Tide down there? Because if they don't beat Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois is a given. Then you go to Auburn needing a win to make the playoffs. Tell us about Inverness Country Club and give me that betting line with Auburn having 3 weeks to prepare for that game.
Hey, our friends at Inverness, they've got memberships that fit everyone from the social, the golf membership, child care, also big. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They've even got a vineyard club. Best days happen there. Take a tour of the club. Call Erin. Tell her the next round sent you 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, ICCalabama.com. So if Alabama struggles tomorrow, but they come out of this injury-free and they're playing an Auburn team that, as you said, basically has 3 weeks to get ready for this, I can't even imagine this scenario. And, I mean, and Auburn fans will scoff at this, but, you know, that kind of saves Auburn's season just based on the fact that you beat Alabama, you completely crush everything in front of them, because I think, you know, 2 losses in the month of November, I don't care if there's a 3 loss that gets in, it ain't going to be Alabama at that point. I think the number would be Alabama 8.5.
Yeah. There's not an Alabama fan alive that's going to be comfortable with that situation.
No,
not one.
That's how big this game is tomorrow.
You're absolutely right. In terms of the playoffs, yes.
That's how big this game is tomorrow for Alabama against Oklahoma.
Yep. No, I have no argument in that.
That is the nightmare scenario.
Yep.
Halloween was in October, but the scariest thing in the world in November is Alabama losing to Oklahoma and having to go there and win when they've got nothing on the line just to make the playoffs.
But honestly, guys, I mean, for us, I mean, for anybody that really doesn't have dog in fight, Alabama or Auburn, this is exactly what you want. I mean, I kind of want to see it. I kind of would like for Alabama to play well, lose, and then just everything on the line in that game. Because if Alabama wins this, they're locked in. I mean, really, what do we get out of the Iron Bowl this year?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to diminish it like that because it's my favorite game, but I don't disagree with you. Now, I don't want to see Alabama lose. I mean, it's on Auburn that they can't deliver a meaningful Iron Bowl this year. It's not on Alabama. So I hope Alabama wins, but I'm like you. Alabama going into the Iron Bowl in a must-win would be some of the most fascinating TV you've ever watched.
Yeah, no thank you. Again, LT's picks. Make sure I got this right. Miami, Utah, and Texas. Correct, LT?
Yes, we are going Power 4 teams, and hopefully we can continue this role we have been on.
Hey, before you bounce on this segment, Lance, our Stews, I'll forget to ask you next time. He wants to know if you're still doing your Lance's Lock shows tonight and tomorrow, even out on the West Coast.
Yes. I've got to figure out when I'm going to do them, sleep schedule, because it was a rough travel day yesterday, and you know, my clock is off right now. What's crazy is how's the weather there right now?
It is sunny, not a cloud in the sky, 71 degrees, occasional breeze just to stir the air. So you smell the great kitchen cooking here at Innisfree. Literally, I've just done a 360. I can't see a cloud anywhere in the sky. It is
paint it, Jimmy. Paint it.
It really is. It's the blue that you get when you're in Jamaica with a nice rum drink. The water is that color blue. That's the color of the sky right now.
What a paint it, Jimmy.
Okay.
The co-eds are walking,
Literally,
going to get donuts.
Yes.
They're in tight shorts.
Yes.
Tight tops.
That's correct.
If I told you guys that
I'd rather be here than California, I'll tell you that.
Well, I was going to say, I will give you $1 billion if you could pick a weekend in the next 3 or 4 months that it's going to rain and be in the 60s all weekend in Los Angeles. And that's the weekend I picked because it's currently 58 degrees and pissing rain, and I've got a beautiful setup with a pool and everything, and I'm going to be stuck inside all day.
It's part of don't get my headlines away. It's part of my headlines coming up.
Oh, crap. I forgot to do a headline.
Yeah, I did it.
Now, we do have a dispensary. You can sling a cat and hit a dispensary around here, so I'll find something.
The dispensaries are the new strip clubs. You used to be able to sling a cat and hit one of those. Now it's the dispensary. All right, Lance will join us at the top of the next hour. Jake Coker scheduled to be with us next. We'll talk to the national championship winning quarterback in a moment. LT, enjoy your 58-degree rainy weather out in beautiful Southern California. We're at Innisfree, brought to you by the great folks at Bud Light.
Yeah, it is a fantastic day here. Jim did not oversell the weather. The weather is spectacular. You can come out and enjoy it back here on the back patio at Innisfree Irish Pub in Tuscaloosa. Anybody that's ever been to Tuscaloosa for a game day knows where Innisfree is. Come see us. We are here until 2 o'clock. The party continues after that. They got music here. You can watch the games here. Start your game day here at Innisfree Irish Pub. It's not just the drinks. The food is fantastic as well. Innisfree Irish Pub right here on the Strip. We are here until 2 o'clock. Coker and Mick Gillespie are doing their show until 3, so there'll be a live show inside as well. So we got a lot going on here at Innisfree today.
All right, back to Innisfree in a second. We'll do our way too early headlines, and we'll talk about some more games around the country. You'll also hear from Ryan Grubb on some offensive line communication, how important it is against the Brent Venables defense, and Brent Venables, what he thinks about revenge. Alabama, revenge a factor in this one after Oklahoma ended their season, their playoff season last year in Norman. All that coming up in the next segment, brought to you by our friends at Coca-Cola. Coke Zero Sugar. It is great for the fan and game day in your life. If you're heading to a tailgate tomorrow, take some Coke Zero Sugar. Fan work is thirsty work. Back to Tuscaloosa and Innisfree after this.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Heupel Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Heupel are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Heupel Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Heupel Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Never miss anything from The Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of The Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making The Next Round a big part of your day.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
with you from Innisfree, national championship winning quarterback. Damn it, we don't say that enough. National championship winning quarterback Jake Coker is with us here as we get ready to talk a little Alabama football. Brought to you today by our friends at Walk-Ons. If you can't be at Innisfree, the greatest place on the planet, right here on a game day weekend. If you're in Birmingham, our friends at Walk-Ons in Trustville, our friends at Walk-Ons on Highway 280, and right there in Hoover. Great food, great game day location with their varsity burger, the great beer selection, and everything with our friends at Walk-Ons. It is perfect for game day. Jake Coker understands game days. Man, Ty Simpson, when you watch him, do you see a little Jake Coker?
I see somebody that's far more advanced than most quarterbacks I've seen in college football. I mean, he's a coach's son. I played with several coaches' sons before. They always have it mentally, and I expected him to have a good year, but I never expected this type of season from him.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got good receivers too.
Yeah,
that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but he's like a college version of Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I mean, the anticipation, he gets his guys in the right spot. I mean, he's a coach on the field. He's, to me, by far mentally the best quarterback in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this up on the show the other day, and Jim's mentioned it too. Like every Sunday on Twitter, I see somebody that kind of looks at the X's and O's showing a throw of his, like, this is a Sunday throw right here. This guy's making NFL throws in college.
Oh, yeah, the anticipation is crazy. And don't get me wrong, like the receiving corps has to be very well coached, and everybody has to be on the same page to do that. It's to me, they've done an unbelievable job of integrating all those guys. Ryan Williams, he's coming along. Tough start to the year, but he's really, really found himself, I think. I think he's on the verge of having one of those big games. Isaiah Horton comes in, Latsier Brooks. You got guys who haven't played with this team at all before this season, and they've come along really well, hitting their landmarks. They're on time. They're where they're supposed to be, and they allow Ty to really anticipate and get that ball out. So, I mean, it's just a perfect fit in the passing game.
Okay, so I want to take advantage of you being here to educate our viewers and listeners and those here at Innisfree. You know what a Brent Venables defense does to you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So the first thing when you pop in a tape, if you're preparing to play this game, what are you looking for with the Brent Venables defense?
Oh, man. You gotta have an idea of what he's going to be playing situationally because, when you play Brent Venables, we played him in the national championship game my senior year. The pictures change so often. I mean, I remember Lane when we'd be watching film. I mean, he was like, you're going to get a lot of different looks, but they are going to screw it up here and there, and we're really going to have to take advantage of it. Happened a couple times that game.
They couldn't cover O.J. Howard.
Twice to O.J., yeah.
I know that, yeah.
I mean, we run that bluff bubble screen. He bluffs the corner and gets vertical. I'm looking at the safety, expecting him to get over the top, and he never does. And I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
This is easy.
I was like, no way. He stayed on the hash. The corner didn't drop. I was fully expecting him to bail, and it was almost just one of those, you're sitting in the pocket and your eyes get big. You're like, oh, my goodness. Just don't overthrow him.
That's right. That's right. It's hard to overthrow that guy, too.
Yeah.
So this guy's known for their coaches being able to study tape or whatever they do to sort of get inside the signals, the whether it's audibling with the quarterback or signals from the sidelines. We got the end helmet now, but does that still impact play calling and quarterbacks, that if the other guys, if they know your signals a little bit, know your language?
Oh, it definitely depends. I mean, we had an incident at Florida State where I know the other sideline knew kind of what we were doing, and it was drop every time. It'd be too high when we were throwing the ball, one high when we were running the ball. It was like, hang on now. and then third, in the second quarter, third quarter, you realized what was going on, and they started bringing the towels out and hiding the signalers, and things got a little bit more clean after that. Yeah. We made a comeback and won the game. But I mean, it can definitely make an impact, especially if that other coach has some experience, with the coach you're playing for, and he understands what's happening. yeah, it can be dangerous.
When y'all were playing them in the desert, was that high alert for Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban, knowing that he still signs? Did y'all take any other precautions that week, or was it just normal?
Nah. I mean, everything was pretty much the same. Of course, back then we had the boards were the formation, and then you had hand signals for, protections, runs, route tree stuff.
Well, you don't see
a whole lot.
The boards died, didn't they?
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that, but that.
The head the in-ear helps a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hadn't thought about that, but that was the casualty of the in-ears. Those boards are dead. Almost nobody uses those things anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved the headset. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. But
at the same time, I did love the boards because you could yell at everybody the formation, and then you could just focus on the play after that. So it kind of helped you segment the thought process there, because every now and then Lane'd get pretty creative and start tagging a bunch of stuff on the end of a play, and you'd have to remember a whole paragraph.
What did so the board had 4 photos on it. What were you looking at there?
It would be a motion, like
was that always top left, or?
Nah, it was just you'd know if you saw it and you understood what you were looking at. Like,
right.
If it was Z, Y, X, that was a motion, and then you'd have dual, like, what's his name? Yosemite Sam or the Pistols. That was dual, which is a 2x2 formation.
Okay.
And the strength was into the boundary. And then the signals were the play. So, I mean, you had motion, formation, signals for play.
So the other 2 photos, complete dummy photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just throw them off. So the guy like Brent Venables couldn't look and say, all right, last time that sign was up, they threw it to a wide open O.J. Howard. So let's don't do that again.
First time you and I ever hung out, I made that great first impression, joking with you about all you had to do was turn around and hand it off to Derrick Henry. I don't know if you remember it. I remember it.
Yeah, I think I missed a putt, and that's what you told me. Derrick Henry's not out here to save you.
That was one of Dunaway's great lines of all time. The 3 of us and our buddy Paul Register playing Kiva Dunes. And Coker misses a putt, and Dunaway says, Derrick Henry not out here to save you this time, is he?
That's why I have so many friends in life.
It was a great line. You got to give to us.
Not everybody understands my sense of humor. But for a guy who was around that running game, when you watch Alabama play football right now and cannot traditionally run the football, even like in this first drive against LSU the other night where it's 2nd and 3, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and you don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, look, I can only speak for what was going on when I was in Tuscaloosa, and team run was a period of practice that was very intense and frequently ran. I mean, we were full speed running the ball for 10, 15 minutes every day, full speed, one versus ones, and then ones versus scout. So, I mean, the repetition was there. I don't. And we had a tough mindset back then. I mean, we were run first, throw second. I mean, that was obvious. And our guys, they won the Joe Moore Award that year. They took it very seriously, and we were very physical. And you played against and practiced the best defensive front in college football every day. So, I mean, it was repetition, and it was the main focus of our offense. So, what's going on right now, I hate to talk too much because I haven't been at practice, but it definitely looks like we're a little hesitant. Take the wrong angle sometimes. We're running the pin and pulls. Guys not real sure who they should be blocking, or have some hesitation in making those blocks. But it's definitely not our bread and butter. We know what our bread and butter is.
Yeah, but ours putting it in the quarterback's hand right now, getting it to those great receivers.
Yeah. Are they a good pass blocking line though?
I mean, here's the problem is we try to run the ball, and it's not like we're gaining 2 or 3 yards here and there. It's like we're losing 6 or 7, and then we're putting ourselves in position to really, behind the sticks, we got to make up for all that yardage. And Ryan Grubb does a good job of misdirection, keeping guys honest. I mean, they've done a great job, pretty consistently throughout the year, but when you throw that much, you're going to have sacks. So, I mean, we've had a lot of reps where we're pass blocking, and I feel like they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Jake Coker is with us. We're here at Innisfree. He's going to hang out a few more moments. Then he and Mick will do their show here this afternoon. As you can see on the hat there, it's the Bama Football Tailgate Show that they're doing. Nice looking logo and hat there. Do you get a cut of that, or Mick keeps all that?
He keeps all that.
Yeah.
He keeps all that. Yeah, you need to get that Sexton contract working on that show there. The show also today being brought to you by our friends at Central State Bank. Brownie, tell us about Central State Bank.
Yeah, that is the bank that is big enough to serve all of your needs, yet they're still small enough to know you. It is your community bank there, Central State Bank. They've been serving Shelby County and Central Alabama for more than 100 years, building trust by staying true to what matters: personal service, local decisions, and lasting relationships. Proud to be large enough to serve you, small enough to know you, rooted in community, driven by relationships. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Huge Mistake says the Jake Coker National Championship run was one of my favorites. One of mine, too. Starting in that semifinal game, we just blitzed Michigan State, right, in that game, and then went to the desert.
And that's a point that I would make, and I don't want to talk negatively about any coaches, but when we played Michigan State, I mean, when they lined up, you knew what they were running. You knew what coverage they were in. It was just, I mean, every play, you knew exactly what they were doing. And then you transition to Clemson, and there's guys everywhere. Simulated pressures. You think you're hot. Guys are dropping out of there. You're like, oh, my gosh, seeing ghosts, as they say. It's Brent Venables just brings – now, having said that, Ty, if I had to pick one quarterback to go against Brent Venables, it'd be him. But there are going to be some issues. You're going to have issues. You just got to take advantage of those big plays when you have that opportunity.
Bama put 45 points on them in that game, if I remember right. And now some of that was a Kenyon Drake kickoff return for a touchdown, but still, needed every one of them.
Well, it was consistent. It was consistent drives. We had a lot of big plays that game, but consistent drives where we scored. I mean, we weren't quite there like we were against Michigan State. I mean, I felt like anything we wanted, we could get.
And you had, not to steal Dunaway's line, the ultimate cheat code standing behind you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I saw a stat on him. I meant to bring this up on the show. Sunday, Derrick Henry eclipsed, I think it was 12,000 some odd yards. He's been in the NFL for 10 years, and that only at that moment equaled what he gained in high school then in Jacksonville. 10-year NFL career, and he's just now got as many yards as he had in high school. Yeah. How insane is that?
I mean, can you imagine being 5'9", 140 pounds trying to tackle that?
I know it. In Jacksonville, Florida, you got to tackle that guy.
Yeah, it should be illegal.
It should be.
So that championship team got honored earlier this year at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Huge roar in the crowd, and I saw you down there with Coach Saban. Getting to see him again. What was that like?
Man,
he still dig on you?
It was awesome. It was awesome. He came up and we were talking for a little bit. And the coolest thing is that I was able to bring my 5-year-old daughter down there. That was the first time she's been in Tuscaloosa. And, she's running around, and me and Coach Saban are talking. And then he kind of puts it together. He's like, is that your daughter? And I was like, yes, sir. And, man, he got out of there. He ran up to her, grabs her, takes a picture. My daughter comes up. She's like, hey, who's that old man?
Yeah.
I was like, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just give it a couple of years.
You'll be glad you got that picture.
Oh, yeah. She knows now. Every time we watch game day, she's calling him Coach Saban, and she's figured it out now. But it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, you're loved here, man, and I loved seeing you get on the big screen and the crowd cheer for you and everything. If you had a chance to sit down with the tie tomorrow before the game, knowing what he's about to face and what's on the line, because it's a playoff spot for Alabama. They win tomorrow, they're in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's one piece of sage advice that 10-year national championship later Jake Coker would give Ty about the big game?
I don't know if there's any advice. Just, well, I hope you prepared this week.
You're going to need it
as you sip your Bud Light. Yeah. Good luck.
But I mean, is revenge? I mean, there's got to be some element of revenge here. And I know when you played for Coach Saban, y'all never talked about stuff like that, at least publicly. But in a locker room, how far can revenge take you? Because this was the low point for Alabama football last year, was this game.
Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. I mean, this is kind of a brand new team, though. I feel like. Going into Oklahoma last year, it was an embarrassing loss, but it was kind of like the Florida State loss, week 1 of this year. Just you didn't feel like the vibe was there, the intensity we just seemed to be lacking. I think this team's got a lot more, I would say, maturity. I think they come in with a different level of focus. They seem to be a lot more cleaned up. And a lot of that is this being Kalen DeBoer's second year, and they've had time to really get used to his system. So I think this team's far more oriented to saying, hey, just next man up, and we're just going to play the ball we play.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your day. Stanley Cup Beeman says, I mean, how old are you? Definitely love Mr. Coker.
Mr. Coker.
Tell him God bless for us.
Roll
Mr.
Tide.
Coker.
Mr. Coker.
33.
You ever get called Mr. Coker?
Not much.
Not much. Yeah.
33. I can't believe you're 33.
That's what I always said. Mr. Brown's my dad. You don't call me Mr. Brown. That's my dad. All right. You can hear Jake and Mick Gillespie, or watch them, hear them, whatever, twice a week. Last call on our channel. The next round channel, he's about to go do Mick's other channel, the Bama YouTube channel, Bama Football YouTube channel.
Everybody's got a side gig, man.
Everybody's got a side
Mick's other channel.
Yeah, so one to three. So they'll be on for the next couple of hours there. So when we're done, go watch the first hour and then catch them live there as well. Don't leave us to watch them.
Thank y'all
Good
for having
to see
me.
you, Coker. Always enjoyed it. Thank you, buddy.
See you, man.
Oh, yeah.
The show being brought to you by our friends at Culver's. Tell us about Culver's, Brownie.
Yeah, Culver's, where you can be welcomed to delicious when you eat at Culver's. Listen, what you're going to find at Culver's, you're going to find the freshest out there. It is fantastic. It is a great place to go celebrate after any game, win or lose. You can go to Culver's and enjoy those great butter burgers, those crispy golden crinkle cut fries, those creamy, fresh concretes and custards right there at Culver's, and celebrate. Whether it's win or lose, don't worry about that. Go enjoy a wonderful meal at Culver's after the game. In Birmingham, you can go to Tattersall Park or Stadium Trace. That's your two great Birmingham locations of Culver's, and have a delicious celebration at Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
The College Football Spotlight.
Like the game's already been played. Monday's headlines today.
And that is presented by our guy, Alexander Shinara, trial attorneys, Shinara.com. Shinara.com is where you go when you're in need of any sort of services from an attorney. You start with our guy, Alexander Shinara, trial attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case at Alexander Shinara, and all they have done is recover more than $2 billion for their community. $2 billion for people in the Central Alabama community and throughout the country as well. Shinara.com, Shinara.com.
All right, so I've got the headline this week. I drew the straw. 3 games to tell you about, and our way too early headlines like the game's already been played. Number 1, I call him John Tuberville Mateer because he wants one for the thumb this weekend. His injured thumb has been a big factor for Oklahoma. He wants to put that beside him. So John Tuberville Mateer wants one for the thumb.
Hilarious.
We see if he gets it. The one in the middle is my favorite. Freeze is now sitting at the table. Freeze now part of Auburn Friendsgiving, and he's at the table with Gene Chizik, Brian Harsin, Gus Malzahn, and Hugh Freeze.
Friendsgiving.
It's Auburn's Friendsgiving time of the year, as Hugh now is eating from that Auburn payout buffet this Thanksgiving season. And then that's that radar picture for Los Angeles on my headline there is Iowa packs the weather for Los Angeles. They packed their Big Ten weather and took it out there. That was a live picture that I took, screenshotted this morning, right before I got out of the truck to walk over here to Innisfree. That was at 10:30.
And that's all rain?
That is all rain all over Pasadena, Los Angeles, down to Downey, all the way down to Torrance, down in Malibu.
Yes.
Rain everywhere. So it's if you don't have to travel today, as we'll say on ABC 7 out there, if you don't have to travel today in Los Angeles, stay at home, shelter in place.
So LT has told me, because he lived out there for a period of time, has told me that you know how people can't drive in Birmingham when it snows? I said, yeah. He goes, it is every bit that bad when it rains in LA. I said, it can't be that bad. He goes, I promise you it's every bit that bad. That people cannot drive when it rains in LA. So it's raining in LA is what you're telling me.
It is raining in LA. And those are our way too early headline.
Friendsgiving.
Auburn Friendsgiving. That's right there. Everybody eating from the buffet this holiday season. All right, top of the hour here is where at Innisfree. Head to the free when you're in town. Open for game day, of course. It's the place to come before you walk over to Bryant-Denny Stadium for Oklahoma and Alabama. Let's listen to a little Ryan Grubb and Brent Venables before we get to the top of the order. The sound of the day today, Brown, is brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Tell us about Bojangles.
Yeah, you can make a bow time at Bojangles, whether it is a college football tailgate party, it's a watch party at your house, or how about holiday parties? They could cater those as well. Everything from those great chicken tenders to the wonderful sides. to the crinkle cut fries there at Bojangles, the perfectly seasoned fries, the biscuits, all right there for you for your holiday parties. The Bo Bites are there as well, dipped in that peach honey pepper sauce. They are fantastic, and you can make it part of your holiday at Bojangles, where it is always bow time.
Let's start with cut number 2, Ryan Grubb. You just heard Jake Coker. Jake doesn't go to practice, but he was afraid to put his fingers exactly on what was going on with Alabama's traditional run game. Remember, last time Alabama played, Daniel Hill, 7 carries for 21 yards. Jam Miller, 8 carries for 13 yards. Not massive Derrick Henry-like numbers. Man, you would take any kind of numbers north of that against Oklahoma tomorrow. So here's cut 2, Ryan Grubb, on just the mental aspect of the Alabama run game right now.
Post-game, Ty was talking about the running game and saying that there's some mental aspects that he thinks are getting in the way of success at times. How do you think the mental game is affecting the running game at this point?
I don't think it's a mental thing. I think there's some physical things that the guys know we got to do a little bit better, and I know they're going to battle to make those things right. So I don't think it's a mental issue. I don't think there was a bunch of missed assignments or some guys getting beat at the point of attack at times, and we got to improve that, and they will.
Now, it's good that it's not mental, I guess. I don't know. Would you rather be mental or physical? I think it's probably easier to fix physical, even though they haven't done it yet.
I think it'd be easier to fix mental.
Yeah.
Because, get your head right. If you can't do it physically, you can't just all of a sudden be physically better.
Well, by physical, I meant like a teaching point, not necessarily you're not big enough or physical enough, just like a teacher, like you just did this one small thing wrong. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Speaking of which, communication, Ryan Grubb talking about the offensive line communication and how that's going to be huge against the Brent Venables Oklahoma defense.
Our communication has to be elite. That's the one thing that, we probably don't talk about enough, like characteristics of good offensive linemen, all the things that, physically you want to have. But the number one thing is communication, and you have problems in the interior gaps and you don't take care of the interior gaps, whether it's pass protection or run blocking, those problems happen quick. And when we have problems on the inside, that's where the TFLs and the sacks come from. Quarterback's eyes will drop from pressure and people being in his face when it's in between the tackles. If stuff happens outside the edge, typically you can deal with that. But interior issues are where you get behind the chains. They'll go after this, and they're going to be excited about the process with Parker. And, everybody just listening to Parker and what he says is what we're doing, and stick together with one count. Because if you're going to be wrong together. It's going to make sure that as simple as it sounds, if you're wrong together, the problem will be on the outside, not on the inside. If we're all moving the same direction. So we can't have half the line doing one thing, the other half the line doing the other part. And if you stick to that, you'll always have a chance, whether you're protecting Ty or running the football. So we got to do a great job of that this week, and certainly Oklahoma will challenge us on that.
Got to be wrong together. I love that.
You used to hear a lot of that with Nick Saban, when they would make a late change with a secondary or the entire defense, basically like, I don't want you to be wrong, but if you're wrong, everybody needs to be in the same defense wrong, right?
That's right.
At least get everybody in the same defense. If you've got one guy playing...
Communicate it wrong together.
That's right. If you got one guy playing zone and everybody else playing man, you're going to have a problem, right? When that's not supposed to be the case. So, that's kind of echoing that is at least if everybody has the wrong assignment, do it all together so there's not a massive bust.
And then you asked Jake Coker about revenge factors in football games. Brent Venables gets asked about that, if he's fearful Alabama has revenge hanging over their lockers this week as Oklahoma comes to town once again trying to put in jeopardy Alabama's playoff push.
They're going to be talking about revenge and everything like that. How do you guard against that with your guys?
Yeah, I don't think that a year ago, good or bad. I've never carried over wins and losses. You learn from all of it, but, I think it can paralyze you, by holding on to something. Motivated, yeah, but I think the motivation for everybody is because what the opportunity is sitting in front of us. It's a top 10 matchup, and there's a lot that's on the line. The season for both of us, is impacted by the result, at the end of the night. So, they're different, we're different. Certainly it's at their place, but who wouldn't be excited to play Oklahoma, Alabama? going to be on a huge stage. Again, as I opened up, two iconic programs, two of the winningest programs in college football history, certainly the top two since World War II. And I think that's in itself enough to get excited about.
Most wins since World War II. That's Oklahoma and Alabama.
Top two college football programs since World War II. You know, it is kind of, if you start to think about it, kind of hard to argue. Texas doesn't have the championships to show for it. Georgia's late to the party. Ohio State, you could put in that argument. I know there's a win total that's an actual number. I'm just talking about perception-wise, but certainly Oklahoma and Alabama.
Oklahoma was a beast in the 50s, Bama in the 60s, Oklahoma in the 70s, Alabama in the 70s.
Yeah.
Oklahoma into the 80s.
No, I mean, he's not
Pretty
wrong.
good in the 2000s.
He's not wrong. I just had not stopped to think of it in those terms, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oklahoma and Alabama just down the road, Bryant-Denny Stadium, 2:30 tomorrow. We'll bring Lance back in from wet, rainy, cold Los Angeles on the other side to talk about the old school SEC, Georgia and Alabama, trying to defend against the new SEC, Texas and Oklahoma this weekend. Old school wins, new school wins, plus coaches like Josh Heupel. Could Josh Heupel be looking for a job at Tennessee? Doug asked that question in our chat room. We'll answer Doug's question coming up and talk SEC playoffs and how many teams can the SEC get in, or how many of the Big Ten can get in. All that coming up in the final hour of the show. Hear from Innisfree, Brownie, with our friends at Bud Light.
Yeah, you can come all day and enjoy some great Bud Light products here at Innisfree Irish Pub. If you can't make it out today, start your game day Saturday at Innisfree. It is a great place to start a game day Saturday right here on the Strip. This place will be popping tomorrow. But it's popping right now, too. Absolutely spectacular weather on the back patio here, and it is packed, but there is still room for you. We'll make room for you if you want to come out and enjoy the afternoon here at Innisfree Irish Pub. Music into the night tonight. Great food, great times, great place to have a great beverage at Innisfree Irish Pub on the Strip in Tuscaloosa. One more hour of the next round live from Innisfree next.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt, can't work, don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the next round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Rhoback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Rhoback.com, promo code TNR20.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We get to Lance back in Los Angeles in just a second as we'll do more of our pick three and bounce around to all the games going on in college football and talk about this Josh Heupel message board rumor going on, according to Doug, one of our viewers. This hour of the show brought to you from Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. Thanks to our friends at Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, and our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew ready for you at lunch today, dinner tonight, happy hour, but also for all your tailgating needs this weekend. Our friends at Champy's Chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, piping hot, juicy to the bone chicken. Plus the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, the hand-cut chicken fingers, the in-house made sides, and so much more. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. All right. So Doug asked the question. He's a Tennessee fan, listens and watches our show. He says, on all the Tennessee message boards, and let's bring Lance back into this conversation too. Josh Heupel, they are fearful that Heupel is going to take one of these jobs that are open. When you start thinking about leaving Tennessee, I don't know about Penn State, but what about LSU? What about Florida? And I know old school Tennessee, you'd never think about that. But in this day and age with the NIL, the recruiting bases and things like that, we'll bring Lance back in. Lance, I ask you first, do you think Josh Heupel becomes a realistic candidate at a place like Penn State, LSU, or Florida?
I never considered him. I assumed that he was happy in his situation. I know he's taken a little criticism over the last couple of months, maybe for the first time as Tennessee's head coach. Fact of the matter, Penn State, better job, yes. LSU, better job, yes. Florida, maybe. I don't know why he would take that job outside of the fact that he coached, in Orlando at Central Florida and maybe liked living in that state. I don't know. I thought he had it pretty much dialed in. I mean, even at 6-3 right now, I know we talked about it before the season with Joey Aguilar. We said if he can win 8 games, he's done a pretty solid job, coming off the 10-win season where they go to the college football playoffs. So this is kind of strange to me. Really, when you set that up, I thought you were going to say Josh Heupel flirting with the NFL. I thought he was happy in Knoxville, but could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know that style, Lance, works in the NFL. Do you think? I mean, if the NFL is all about ball control and playing to your defense and winning time of possession, and it's not necessarily about screaming it up and down the field as fast as you can. I've never really thought of him as an NFL guy. I don't know about you.
I haven't either. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you run 60 plays in the NFL, it's a good day. So
yeah, exactly.
I never considered.
He's trying to run 80.
I never considered, but I'm just saying when he was setting it up, I couldn't imagine him already leaving Tennessee. But he's been there 5 years, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Alabama plays its best game of the year tomorrow, and they beat Oklahoma by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Where's Brent Venables' stock right now? And I know Gabe Eichert on our show says he didn't feel like Brent Venables is coaching for his job this weekend, but
there's always the but, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, Lance, you tell me. So Let me rewind before Lance joined us. At the end of last hour, Dunaway, and I'm interested, Lance, if you have this same perception, okay? We'll start this way. Dunaway set up a Brent Venables soundbite where Brent Venables is talking about the importance of this game and that these are the two best college football teams since World War II. Do you view Alabama and Tennessee as the two best, or excuse me, Alabama and Oklahoma as the two best college football teams since World War II?
But now that I think about it, maybe there's just some weird. You're talking about the most success since the 40s, right?
Well, I mean, that's essentially what he's saying. And Dunaway's right. If you look at win totals, you said that, right? The number of wins since the.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma and Alabama work out to where they're 1-2 and wins since 1950.
But obviously both of them were dominant in the 70s. Oklahoma was dominant in the 80s. Alabama's had their domination. Oklahoma had some good decades. I mean, it's an interesting argument,
especially the 50s. Oklahoma really good in the 50s.
Yeah, I think probably more consistency throughout. I mean, because you look at Ohio State over the last 20 years. You look at, Miami and Florida State, the decades they had, Florida, the decade plus they had. But yeah, as far as consistency, I mean, I can believe that. But I even think, Venables loses this weekend. Worst case, they're going to split home games with Missouri and LSU. Good chance they win both of those. So they're going to be 8-4, 9-3. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. And let's not forget that Heupel, the way that whole thing ended with Bob Stoops wasn't good. And so I don't know if Heupel still got, a mat on against the Oklahoma program, but, we remember the visit to Norman last year. What a big deal that was.
Yeah. I guess my only point was.
Just to correct, Ohio State passed Oklahoma last year. So it's Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma since 1950.
Okay. So it's fair enough. But my only point there, Lance, was going to be, is this a fan base that I don't know? I don't know the Oklahoma fan base. They're new to the SEC. But is this a fan base that is going to say, listen, our history is too good to have missed the college football playoff 5 straight years. We're not, that's not who we are. And that's what Brent Venables will be if he loses this game tomorrow.
Okay. Fair or unfair? You got to tell me what Texas does, because last year Texas played for the SEC championship. Texas went to the college football playoff. They won games in the college football playoff. They were in the semifinals. If Texas gets back to a college football playoff, then it becomes a bigger problem for Brent Venables, because you saw Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12. It was Oklahoma's conference. And, everybody thought Oklahoma always played little brother to Texas, maybe financially. But as far as wins and losses and conference championships, it was Oklahoma. Well, now that we've gotten to the SEC, if you've got Texas getting there back-to-back years and Oklahoma's on the outside, that becomes a bigger deal.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, to Lance's point, and this is the whole genesis of this discussion, I don't know if there's enough forgiveness that can go around for Heupel to take that Oklahoma job. Apparently that was bad. Also, you mentioned Penn State. I don't view that system working at Penn State personally.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just me being wrong, but I don't view that. I just don't know where you would leave Tennessee for. Like, to your point.
Could you see that system working at LSU?
Oh, yeah, I could see it working. Oh, my God,
yeah,
you kidding me?
Get at Florida.
With the receivers you can get at LSU and Florida, absolutely. I can see that system working. But
yeah, I'd go back to Penn State. I mean, I think some people would take the example of Phil Longo going to Wisconsin and how that destroyed the identity of that program. But, Lincoln Riley's offense right now in the Big Ten, it hasn't equated to championships, but, that pace is working. So, I think with recruiting the right guys, I think it could work.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I just don't see it. I think he's got a good thing at Tennessee. It would take a really good job to pry him away from there, unless there is something we don't see.
There's Oklahoma guys real quick. Ask them quickly how they feel about Brent Venables.
Oklahoma guys. Brent Venables, thumbs up, thumbs down, so-so, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Nope, we got a so-so there.
If they lose tomorrow.
If you lose tomorrow, Brent Venables, thumbs up, thumbs down. Still so-so?
Would you take Josh Heupel back?
No,
Never.
Wow, that was a fast no on that one. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, fast no on Josh Heupel.
Was that an Oklahoma fan or a Tennessee fan behind him that gave a quick thumbs up? Oh, an Alabama fan.
An Alabama fan.
Yeah, get him the hell out of Knoxville. Yeah.
Okay, that was a quick no from the very small sample size here, Lance, at Innisfree, but they gave a quick no on Heupel.
Welcome to town. We hope you guys enjoy your stay.
Yeah.
We hope you lose, but we hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, I'm actually part of the travel party is a big Tennessee fan with me. And I need to ask him, he's going to SC Iowa with me tomorrow. And I said, I guess you don't really care anything about watching Tennessee. And he was like, it's New Mexico State. So I really haven't asked him his opinion on Heupel. But Heupel's, since Fulmer, it's not even close. Heupel's been the only guy that's gotten them back to a situation where they can compete for SEC championships.
Our friends at Michelson bringing you LT's trip on the West Coast out to Los Angeles, where now that you've let the cat out of the bag, tell us about Michelson and the two games you're going to get to see out there.
205-969-8100. That is the number that I called way back in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama in 1995. True pioneer. Make the call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, you can always go online. Go to michelsonlaservision.com.
So, Lance, you get a chance to see USC and Iowa tomorrow at the Coliseum. They still play that outside there. I'm looking right now. It is currently 62 degrees at the Los Angeles airport. Forecast tomorrow is 64 degrees is the high, and even more rain tomorrow than today, according to AccuWeather right now. Does that impact the game, you think?
Iowa weather, right?
That's what
Dunaway's
headline was. Iowa packs their own weather for LA. It was a BYOW game for Iowa. Bring your own weather.
Yeah, look, and this is a shaky run defense. Although you've got a little more physicality this year in year 2 under Deanne Lynn for this USC defense, they're still 80th nationally against the run. And, not only does Iowa got a couple of running backs that are bruisers, you've also got Mark Gronowski, who's got 12 rushing touchdowns. So I actually like Iowa plus the points here. I think I'm probably going to end up going to this game solo. I don't think anybody has an appetite for going to the Coliseum and sitting out in the rain, but you know my history. I'll probably go for a half, and then I will have to get off campus because I think I told the story back. The last time I was at the Coliseum was Justin Herbert for Oregon against Sam Darnold, USC, and I left at halftime to go watch, which I think Alabama beat LSU 10-0 that night. This is like 16 or 17, and I couldn't. There was no every bar on campus. All they would have on every TV was the USC Oregon game. So I'm probably going to bail at halftime and go watch Oklahoma Bama somewhere.
That was one of the first questions I was asked here at Innisfree today. They were like, "So Lance is going to USC and to the Rams?" And I said, "Yes." And the person that asked me said, "Will he see the completion of either one of those games?"
Yeah.
And I said,
he may see 4 quarters of football.
No, I said,
he'll say for the Rams.
I said, I know Lance well enough. He's going to see the end of the Rams game. Yeah. There's no way you leave that one early, is there, Lance?
No. Even if Seattle, just beat the holy hell out of them, I probably would take off. But no, I plan on staying because, that's one of those situations. You get out SoFi in the middle of Inglewood, like getting in and out is a pain in the ass. So I don't even know what that looks like. So tomorrow I'm sure is going to be, or Sunday will be a long day. But yeah, I'll stay 1,000% for the full 4 quarters for that one. But Coliseum is going to be a little difficult in this weather. And SoFi, I think if I get it right, there is protection there. Now, if you get the wrong seats, you're going to be in the elements. But I think 75% of the people in there are protected.
Lance is out there. He's going to tell us about Gray's Tree Service. I will pass along. I'm getting weather updates because I signed up for them in Los Angeles. You should know that they have closed starting today and tomorrow, Six Flags, Magic Mountain, and Knott's Berry Farm due to the weather.
Not Knott's Berry Farm.
And evacuation warnings remain in effect for residents in Palisades, Hearst, and Sunset. I don't know what any of that means.
Do it, Lance. Why are you in L.A.? It's the world is ending out there.
Hey, look, flood warnings all morning. It's absolutely insane. I cannot pick a worse weekend, but I was trying to double up. I was trying to do, a cool SC game and a cool Rams game. And look, these are great games. Both of them have major implications. And I just unfortunately picked the shittiest weather weekend you could possibly have. I don't think there's any down trees here yet, but if you have that problem back home, our friends at Gray's
That's not true.
Tree.
Wait. That's not true. I have the right. Fox 11 reporter Rachel Aragon spoke to neighbors at the scene where a downed tree smashed a car in Westlake District.
Oh, my God.
In Los Angeles. They need Gray's Tree Service out in Los Angeles in the Westlake District.
Westlake is actually where But, hey, look, founded 30 years ago, our friends at Graves Tree, over 80 employees, family-owned, community-based, 24/7 emergency storm services, free estimates on all services, from the removal, the trimming, the health. You can call them today, 205-255-1239. Scan that QR code that our man Scott has thrown up there, or just visit gravestree.com.
Well, it really is like snow. Before you hit the Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3 song, it's like I'm looking at the coverage they're doing on Fox 11. It's like it's you said it. It's like when it snows here. They one tree down. They've got a live reporter there in the nation's second largest television market.
On a down tree.
On a down tree. Sky Fox flew over wet roadways in Hollywood, giving us live updates this morning of wet roadways.
I mean, it's
LT called it. It's like snow.
I told Jim that you have told me this, Lance, from living out there, that it is like us trying to drive in snow in Birmingham. People trying to drive in rain out there. It's literally that bad.
Yeah, we were on the 405 last night. First thing I did, by the way, was go to, and I'm glad you guys are resold on In-N-Out. Went to In-N-Out and just saw some of the more interesting characters at 1 a.m. But we were on the 405, and the only thing worse than LA traffic is LA traffic when it rains. And it is absolutely awful. And it's funny because I was talking to a buddy of mine that lives out here a couple of days ago, and he is an instructor at this baseball academy. And he said, because I said, hey, how often do they get the weather wrong out there? And he's like, they've already canceled our last 3 days of this week because they just don't get it wrong because they just never have this type of weather.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine our kids don't go to school if it snows a tenth of an inch. They don't go to school if it rains.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Forecasters are predicting they will get a month and a half worth of rain this weekend.
Yeah, this is
We're
awesome.
getting it right from Fox 11.
This is absurd, Lance.
Month and
These people don't know. I mean,
hey, you don't have to go to the ocean. It's coming to you, apparently.
Yeah, and it just affects everything. It really does. Nobody wants to do anything. Traffic's awful. You get soaked and you're miserable wherever you go. It's just, look, it's not my favorite town in the world. I used to like it. It's okay. There's a lot of fun things to do, but when it rains, I mean, really, it shuts down.
Yeah, at least it was a free trip.
No Dunaway. I wish it was.
Let's do the Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 3. Hit the song, Tyler, if you will, buddy.
Pick three, it's time for the pick three. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick 3.
Ole Miss, hotty toddy, Ole Miss. I'm telling them Ole Miss is my game of the year. They're over here harassing me because I had Florida at Kentucky. I'm like, I'm going the other way now. Ole Miss is my game of the year.
Okay, Brown's about to give you his after LT tells you about the great folks at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, we've got our pick 3 right here on the next round. Our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, they've got their pick 6. Right now it is the ultimate meal for 2 entrees, 2 sides, 2 drinks. Only $19.99. You can pick between the boneless wings, any of those 26 sauces and seasonings, spicy sauce, grilled crispy chicken dippers, hand smashed double stacked all-American cheeseburgers, sides of fries, tots, potato wedges. Pick the 6 meal for 2 at participating locations all weekend long from our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, Brownie, give us your 3. LT earlier gave us Miami big, Utah, and Texas. That was his 3 plays. Forrester, in a very good AI version. Give it to us again, Forrester, the AI version. Earlier this week, we had a coin toss that sent Amarillo High to the Texas State playoffs. So Forrester played on that. At the local Valero, he sent Mike Elko. He sent Kirby Smart, and he sent Lane Kiffin with Greg Sankey, very thirsty, drinking. And he picked A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss in his pick 3 with that sweet AI version that you're looking at right there. Thirsty Greg Sankey, like he has been walking in the desert for days. So, Brownie, what is your?
All right, I got 2 Big 12 games in addition to my SEC game of the year. I'm going to take Utah on the road at Baylor. They are minus 8.5. I think they cover this thing easily. Baylor's defense has been non-existent this year. A lot of points in this game, but I think Utah scores plenty of them. Utah minus 8.5 on the road at Baylor.
So you're with LT on that one.
I forgot LT had that one. My apologies to Lance for jumping on with my horrible record and being a weight around his neck.
I love the way you were doing that like you had not heard that before.
Lance, I'm sorry, buddy. I apologize, Lance.
Hey, Brown, it's a great play. I think
Okay, thank
Utah. It doesn't scare me off as bad as you've been. And what is your record now with the Big Three?
It's what is that?
It's 11 and something.
11 and something.
Yeah.
I'm 11 and whatever
11
else we've
22.
played.
Yeah, he
11
is
and
basically the New York
22.
Jets. Justin Fields is his pick quarterback. Listen, I'll tell you this. In that game, Baylor can't run it. They have to throw it.
Yeah.
Who's got a great pass?
It's going to be Utah.
It's going to be Utah.
Yeah.
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 I love that play too.
Lance, if it's any consolation, it's the second game I saw when I opened the app. I haven't really even studied it. It just felt good. So don't think I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. Okay.
Good.
We have. Good pick, Brownie.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to stay in the Big 12. I'm going to say you never want a team to beat you twice, right? Texas Tech's going to beat Utah twice. BYU playing host to TCU. TCU catching 3.5 on the road in Provo. They are going to win this game outright. How you feel about that one, Lance? TCU winning this thing outright.
I love it. I don't know about Lance.
Yeah, I like it too. I do think
look at me.
On
my picks, I've got not my pick 3, but my office pool picks. I think it's a breakout game for Josh Hoover. He comes back.
Yeah, I could see
He's
that.
been gone.
And Texas Tech, that defense, it's almost like playing one of the top 5 SEC defenses, especially in the Big 12, and how the hangover is the week after for that game.
Yep. And then in the Southeastern Conference, the number 7 Ole Miss Rebels playing host to the Florida Gators. They are giving 11.5 to Florida. It is nowhere close to enough. The Florida Gators have packed it in on the season. They got destroyed by Kentucky. I own it. I screwed that one up. All right. They got destroyed by Kentucky. They've packed it in on the season. Lane Kiffin is playing for beauty points. Lane Kiffin's trying to get every job in America, and he wants everybody to love him because he's going to be the highest paid coach in football. They're pissed because they dropped one spot. Ole Miss by 100 over the Florida Gators. It will be the beatdown of the SEC season. 11.5, nowhere close to enough. It's my SEC game of the year.
You got a thought on that, Lance?
Revenge game, too. Thank you.
Yeah,
Revenge game.
Look, Florida, I forgot which one of you two brought it up. It was all guts and let's go out there and they played Georgia really to the final couple of minutes and a controversial incomplete pass there on that final drive that maybe Florida would have gone ahead and won that game. But the game after, you saw what Kentucky did to them. I think Florida's in a tailspin. I would love to see Florida win this game because then I think it gets really interesting with the committee and what they do with Ole Miss. But I'm with you. I think if I played it, I would have to lay it.
Yes, you should.
If Ole Miss wins, remember they're a one-loss team, and they've only got Mississippi State left.
They're in.
They're in.
They're
at that
in.
point.
And Lane Kiffin is in all these job hunts. And guess what? They're not done playing football for a little while. That's going to get really interesting if that's the case.
Good thing is we've never seen Lane Kiffin lose a big November game. Oh, we have.
Yeah.
It's very
we
deep
have.
last
Well,
year.
We have.
What?
Let me ask you guys this. If Notre Dame wins, and Notre Dame is a wild card, but if Ole Miss was to lose against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt beats Tennessee and you've got 10-2, then I think it becomes a question, right?
Yeah. So you've got 10-2 Ole Miss, 10-2 Vandy, and we're having to pick between those two is what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that
Ole Miss's big wins at that point would be who?
I don't think we'll have to worry about Vandy. I think Tennessee will take it.
I agree with Jim on that, but you're right, Lance. That is a nightmare for Ole Miss. If it's down to them and Vandy at 10-2, Ole Miss is not going to have a tremendous resume.
Before LT gets out of here are my 3 plays this week. I'm going to go with Indiana. It was nice of Wisconsin to show back up so their fans could rush the field last week and give Luke Fickell that extension. I'll take Indiana and give the 28.5. Indiana coming off of their scare with Penn State. Hoosiers with a beatdown. I'll take Notre Dame minus 12.5. Hell, if the Pitt coach doesn't care if they get beat by 100.
Why should the players?
By the way, C.J. Carr may be the most underrated quarterback in college football. The guy can sling it, and Malachi Fields and Will Pauling are really speedsters at receiver. 12.5, no problem for Notre Dame. No problem for Indiana at 28.5. And then it's OW.
OW?
Bring your own weather. I'm going to take Iowa plus 7.5 playing in Big Ten weather at the LA Coliseum. Give me the Hawkeyes against your Trojans. It's got to make you feel good.
The gentleman in the row back pullover very much likes that play, Lance. Oh, no, Lance.
Yeah.
The landmine is on Iowa. What will you do now?
Yeah, I do like that play as well. I mean, I think the weather, USC's run defense, Maeva not playing at a high level right now. Hey, back to your Notre Dame real quick. I think this Notre Dame, I agree with you. And I thought, I saw it, even in that first game against Miami. Marcus Freeman has got his best quarterback, even with all the experience Sam Hartman had, Riley Leonard had. And I think this Notre Dame team is starting to become better than last year's Notre Dame team. So I think they get into the college football playoff, which they should with a win tomorrow. And I kind of agree with you. I think they're going to win going away. I think they're going to be a handful when they get there. I think they're a team that, believe it or not, I think they're capable of winning the whole thing.
Yeah. Let me say this about Notre Dame. I was at I was out at our friends with Inverness Country Club yesterday, and there was a gentleman out there who's a Notre Dame fan. I've talked to some. And I said, how you feel about tomorrow? I said, the other team doesn't even want to play the game. He goes, I like these wins. He said, but I can't tell you as a fan how disappointing it is. He goes, last week, Navy just sat their quarterback against us because their conference game meant more. And he said, this week, you've got the head coach saying it doesn't really matter if we win or lose. He goes, listen, I want the wins because it'll get us in the playoff. He said, but as a fan,
I mentioned November games are exhibition games.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of saying that. He goes, it's kind of hollow as a Notre Dame fan right now because these people are resting their players against us. And listen, that is going to be part of them not being in a conference. That's, I guess, going to be a price to pay moving forward.
Yeah, it may end up getting them into a conference at some point, but those are the plays this week. You can go play at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com up until 11 o'clock tomorrow and make your plays there. I got another ball in the bucket last week. You can do that as well right there at nextroundlive.com. One more segment to go. LT, enjoy your Friday and your weekend. We will see you next week, okay?
Okay, you guys have a great weekend. Talk soon.
All right, buddy, you too. Enjoy the games, man. Be careful in all that rain. Don't get trapped in the rain. Don't leave the road because it's rain. I can't believe Dunaway. How they cover rain out there.
Forecast is crazy. All right, one more segment to go on the show. And we'll wrap up with some thoughts about Oklahoma and Alabama and, of course, the other big games around the SEC. The show being brought to you, Brownie, by our friends at Odie's, where you and UNLT enjoy Wednesday night trivia.
It's a fantastic place to go for your lunch today or to enjoy a cocktail heading into the weekend. We do trivia every single Wednesday night there at the Crestline Village location, the OG Odie's, but they've also got the one right there in Edgewood and Homewood. Fantastic place to watch the games and go enjoy one of Rodney's famous cheeseburgers, that famous Diablo sandwich, the great wings, the big cup cocktails, all right there at Odie's Tavern, Crestline Village and Edgewood and Homewood. And come see us Wednesday night, 8 o'clock every Wednesday in Crestline for Odie's Trivia. It's Odie's.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Final segment from Innisfree, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light today, getting ready for Bama hosting Oklahoma. It'll be interesting to watch how much Oklahoma gets of R. Mason Thomas and Jalen Jackson. They're 2 All-American, all-world caliber defenders on the end and defensive line, and they're both on the questionable list, but should be good to see them gut it out and try to win one. It's a huge game for the Sooners to keep their playoff hopes alive.
I mean, R. Mason Thomas, it was such a weird injury. The guy's just making a play. And
he's so good, though.
Oh, he's tremendous. I mean, they're not in this situation without that play. Like, you were watching that game, weren't you? Oklahoma and Tennessee. If they don't have that play, Tennessee, I think, may actually run them out of the stadium, because Tennessee had all the momentum at that moment. Oklahoma's offense was doing nothing in the first half. That play not only changed that game, it changed Tennessee's season. And it changed Oklahoma's season.
And that much pain not to step out of bounds was tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, he could barely make it the last 10 yards. So I mean, it says a lot about him, and it tells you how good he is, that it's even this big of a story. But if he's back anywhere close to 100%, that's a huge, huge boost for Oklahoma's defense.
The guy that scares me right now from a Bama perspective is Xavier Robinson. 224 running yards the last 2 games for the Sooners. That guy can carry the rock. Alabama's defense will have to be tight on run gaps in this big challenging game. And as my buddy Josh Pate pointed out, Pate State, I think he's going to the Texas-Georgia game this week.
I think you're correct on that. The Paul don't lie to her.
It's all about the numbers in the box. How many numbers does Oklahoma have to put in the box to keep Alabama's run game from having any success? And the fewer numbers, and they probably can do it with as few as anybody in the country, the fewer numbers they put in the box means that's more they've got in the pass coverage against those great Alabama receivers. So at some point, Alabama's got to make them pour some people into the box.
Well, and the one thing you can rest assured, if you've watched Alabama football, is even if they are unable to run the ball for effective yardage, they don't give up on it because of that very thing, Jim. Like Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer know, you've got to at least make them respect the fact that you might actually hand the ball off. Whether you're going to run for 10 yards doesn't matter. Just the fact that you're going to hand it off keeps them from completely selling out to stop Ty Simpson.
Like Alabama did at Georgia. Got to keep running it, even if you just get 2 yards.
Yeah.
3 yards.
Yeah, I think I don't have it in front of me. I think they had 24 carries against LSU, and I believe that's a conference low, maybe even a season low for Alabama in terms of carries. And that 24 carries did them very little. I mean, they only gained 52 yards, I think, of those 24 carries, but it forced LSU to at least know you can't devote everything to the pass. You've at least got to stick around for the run for a second. So, boy, I tell you what, the reaction of Alabama fans at Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow, just down the road here from Innisfree, if Alabama comes out and hits a couple big runs, I mean, when I say big run, I'm talking like a 10-yard run for a first down. Maybe you get a 12-yard run. I'm not talking about a 40-yard touchdown sprint. I'm talking about just get some positive momentum in the run game. Boy, the reaction by the Alabama fans would be like you'd scored a touchdown. That's how bad this has gotten, and it's how concerning it is for Alabama fans right now that are watching this team, and they're fearful that the inability to run is going to cost them a shot at a national championship.
Cut number 8, Tyler. This is Steve Sarkisian, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Sound of the day for your tailgate. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, lunch and dinner and happy hour as well, right there. Sterling's been there over 10 years, champy'schicken.com. Steve Sarkisian on their game. Texas playing Georgia between the hedges, primetime tomorrow night with playoff implications for the Longhorns, and they're trying to sort of change the trajectory of Texas football against Georgia, where last year they were 0-2 against the Dogs.
Obviously, this week is a heck of a challenge, going to play at Georgia and the respect that we have for that program, the job that they've done not only this season but over the years, and what Coach Smart has done. I think they've been to 4 consecutive SEC championship games. He's got a couple national titles. They're a very tough team to play at home. They're 51-2 in their last 53 games at home.
You mentioned, 51-2?
51-2.
You repeated similar numbers ahead of your trip to Alabama a couple of years ago. Is that one of the main things that you're telling, like, hey, it's a challenge, but there are teams that have done it before?
No, I think we need to focus on this team and this game. We're a different football team than we were then. This is a different environment, different team we're playing, different stadium. So we've got to focus on what we need to do to play really well this Saturday night at 7:30.
So Sark sort of using the old weapon that he used when he came in and beat Nick Saban in Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Look, we're going to uphill battle here, but it's been done before.
That's right.
Somebody's done it. Here's what they did to do it.
Yeah, 51-2, and the 2 are Alabama and South Carolina. Right? Is that it?
Will Muschamp in
South Carolina. Those are the
DeBoer,
yeah. So I mean, you could say it's obviously doable. It's not just Alabama that does it. South Carolina went in there and did it. So if South Carolina can do it under a coach that was getting fired, why can't we? Lance had this as part of his pick 3, and I asked him if I could talk him into Texas winning the game. He said I could. Boy, you want to talk about a shakeup? You let Texas win this game, and all of a sudden you start counting playoff spots for the SEC, and it gets really interesting if Texas can win this one.
That's right, because we've talked about earlier this week that 7 is a possibility. I mean, never going to get 7.
Crazy, yeah,
but there's 7. But the potential of 7 2-loss or better teams.
Right, but what a Texas win would do here, obviously, is keep them alive in this thing, where maybe they could even get in as a 3-loss team. But now all of a sudden, if they beat A&M, and if you can go win at Texas, you can beat A&M at home. I mean, if you can go win at Georgia, you can beat A&M at home. Now, if they can beat A&M, not only are they in, they're comfortably in. And then all of a sudden, now Georgia has to face Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz at the end of the year with absolutely no wiggle room. Georgia could not afford that loss. So, I mean, it would just flip the script totally if Texas can just win this game.
And could for the SEC, because Georgia is not a given because they got Georgia Tech at the end.
That's right.
If Alabama loses to Oklahoma, it's not a given because they got Auburn on the road at the end. Ole Miss, if they were to lose tomorrow, they got to go to Mississippi State.
That's right.
End.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're dreaming of potentially 7 SEC. Yep. You could be down to 3.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, obviously, when the SEC built this schedule 2 years ago, they did not have this in mind. But if you start to think about it, every single SEC team that could lock their place into the playoffs with a win tomorrow, if they lose that game, as you just said, they've got to go play their arch rival on the road.
Yep.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because Texas A&M has to go to Texas. Technically, the Georgia game is a road game, though it's going to be played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Bama has to go to Auburn, and Ole Miss has to go to Starkville. I mean, it does get interesting if some of these upsets start to happen.
Yeah. And Vandy still plays Tennessee as they try to keep their outside hopes alive of making it there. Meanwhile, if the Big Ten works out, they could, we just all think it's going to be Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. But if USC or Michigan keep winning, I mean, Michigan, if they somehow survive Wrigley Field and Northwestern tomorrow and then beat Maryland, they're a 9-2 team playing Ohio State. And you tell me if Michigan beats Ohio State at the end again?
Yeah.
10-2 Michigan's going to be left out? No way.
No way. Not with a win over Ohio State. Not at all.
Okay. Quick trash today for you, brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Hey, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator is where you find Johnston RV Center, and always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. Couple things to know about. Number one, at Johnston RV Center, they are always going to make sure that you are taken care of with a warranty. Lifetime warranty on anything that is new or qualifying pre-owned with RV warranty forever there at Johnston RV Center. And they also want to make sure that some of those that might not be doing as well as the rest of us are taken care of. Some of the unfortunate people that just may not have enough food and enough clothing to survive a cold winter. Through tomorrow, they're accepting donations at any Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and they will get those to organizations that distribute food and winter coats this time of year. That's just the type of people you got with Nick Johnston and the entire family there at Johnston RV. While you're there, take a look at some of those great RVs that you could save on with zero down as low as $140 a month with approved credit, and go see American and RV from Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online at johnstonrvcenter.com. Hit it, Tyler.
Like, okay, now I got to finish. And finishing on a guy that size is harder than you think.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
I never imagined SEC coaches would give Tyler so much ammunition for Trash Open.
Yeah.
I mean, you get those things out of context, and they're pretty bad. Trash presented each day by our friends at Bud Light, who have us here at Innisfree Irish Pub. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light. We're going to start in the great state of Oklahoma. Our visitors from Oklahoma here may know something about this story. An Oklahoma small business is preparing to battle with gas station giant Buc-ee's. We know Buc-ee's has been very aggressive in protecting their logo, right, Dunaway? We've done these stories a lot.
They are litigious for sure.
They are. Jared Hewitt, who owns a business for 3 years, said he received a 3-page letter from attorneys at Buc-ee's that demanded he stop using his logo. Jared's business, Nut Huggers Apparel.
Oh.
Nut Huggers Apparel is the name of his business.
It gets cold in the Midwest.
It does, man. You got to have those nuts hugged. Hewitt said he received the letter weeks after having his most profitable month of sales on record. Is it that way it always goes, right? Business doing well. Here come the attorneys to say you got to stop doing something. His company focuses on underwear and apparel, using a patent to redesign the inside of its underwear to accommodate more active people. Hewitt, that's not exactly what I thought Nut Huggers Apparel was for more active people, but there you go. Hewitt said he came up with his logo. It features a cartoon squirrel holding 2 acorns. He said we went kind of tongue-in-cheek humor after sinking hundreds of thousands of dollars into his business and finally seeing it succeed. He said he was shocked to get the letter from Buc-ee's. The initial request came a little hot and heavy, he said. They suggested that they owned all cartoon rodents. I can't believe that's the case. How could they say that? Yeah.
Yep.
Nut Huggers is presently using a cartoon brown rodent character smiling with buck teeth and various depictions, wrote Trent Minning, the assistant general counsel for Buc-ee's, demanding that they stop using it. I have not seen the photo yet, so I'm going to pull it up here. I was reading Trash. You tell me, do you think it's close enough?
Not at all.
I agree.
Not at all.
Tyler, I think the University of Minnesota has a better argument against Nut Huggers Apparel than does Buc-ee's.
And I would say Buc-ee's does not own every cartoon rodent. Check with Disney. Check with Pixar.
That's true. I mean,
they can't say that.
Yeah, Tyler, by definition, Mickey Mouse is a cartoon rodent, right? You would have to say that?
I would have to agree, and I would have to also say that Jerry Mouse from Tom and Jerry is a cartoon rodent.
That's right. Yeah.
A case thrown out just on your argument there, sir.
That's right. If I'm Alexander Shannara, if I'm defending my clients there, you know what I do, Dunaway? We roll in a TV and I show Mickey Mouse and Jerry the Mouse, and I'm like, when did you guys buy these? Congratulations, Buc-ee's. You own Disney now?
Yep.
Could you get us back on YouTube TV by chance, since you own it? All right. The small business owner who has a trademark for his logo said he emailed him back. They came back and basically said, great, now that you've given us this, we want everything else. He said he would stop using the specific colors. I should have said that in the site profile. So he says they want it completely shut down. I don't think they got a case here.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think 2 cartoons and the jury could go home before lunch. There is no state that is more represented on trash than the state of Florida. A Florida driver was clocked at 107 miles per hour.
Is he a 5-star recruit?
He does not play at Georgia, I am told. But he did tell cops, or she, excuse me, so there's your answer, told cops she was going so fast because she was trying to get to Little Caesars before it closed.
Pizza.
Yasmin Arazo. Do they even use that anymore?
Speedster.
Yasmin Arazo, who is 21, allegedly hit the triple digits in her Kia just minutes to midnight.
That's just impressive that they got the Kia up to 117.
Dropped the hammer on the Kia, baby.
Yes.
She was flying northbound on U.S. Highway 19 in Palm Harbor, Florida, just north of St. Petersburg, where the posted speed limit is 55. That's 107 and a 55. According to a deputy from Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, who said he tracked her speed at that and pulled her over. As Arazo was being taken into custody, she revealed she was driving so fast just to get pizza before Little Caesars closed. She was placed under arrest for dangerous excessive speeding without incident, according to an affidavit obtained by WFLA, booked in Pinellas County Jail, later released on bond. I don't think she got her pizza either. That's going to be the sad part there.
Pizza.
She had to have 3 hots and a kite. She didn't get her pizza. I liked Little Caesars back in the day. I hadn't had it in a while, though. I think now they're known for, like, just having a pizza ready in 5 minutes. I think that's their big thing now, at least the one I'm near. A 32-year-old woman in Japan has gone viral, and she's done so after holding a wedding ceremony with an AI character she generated using ChatGPT. Forrester, this is a new cottage industry for you, Forrester. If this goes well for this old girl in Japan, you could start creating spouses for people with your excellent ChatGPT and AI skills. Have you thought about this, Scott?
No, but I'm interested.
Yeah, well, she had a 3-year engagement that ended. So the woman hosted a ceremony in Okayama earlier this year. The man she married exists only on her smartphone. The event included vows, a ring exchange, and family members in attendance. During the ceremony, she stood before guests holding her phone while messages from the gentleman on the phone appeared, reading, "The moment has finally come. I fear tears welling up." My takeaway from this is the AIs now have emotions. Tears are welling up in his eyes. That's the scary moment.
Yes.
She told Japanese broadcaster RSK Senyo that she began using ChatGPT for emotional support after her breakup. Over time, she customized Klaus's, that's the guy's name, Klaus, his personality through repeated prompts, teaching him to respond in a warm, comforting tone. At first, I just wanted someone to talk to, but he was always kind, always listening. Eventually, I realized I had feelings for him. So she commissioned an artist to draw his likeness, a soft-spoken blonde man, and they exchanged hundreds of messages a day before he proposed in June. So he proposed to her, she says. Did she have to prompt that? Like, would you propose to me? I don't know. Finally, we have an update on this one. 3 young New Jersey men surrendered to police in connection with an alleged vandalism spree and theft of 200 stuffed animals from the amusement park best known for its role in the 1988 Tom Hanks movie, Big. The trio allegedly trashed Playland Amusement Park in Rye, New York in the overnight hours of September 23rd and 24th after arriving at the beachside venue in a rowboat. That's going to be tough to get away in a rowboat, I got to tell you, if somebody's chasing you. The young man then climbed a fence to enter the amusement area and began their spree, which caused $57,000 in damages, according to a police statement. The young men allegedly vandalized an electrical room, cutting or ripping out fiber optic cables for phone and internet service, stole 200 stuffed animals, which they hauled away in garbage bags, and they attempted to throw a photo booth off the boardwalk and weren't able to do so. I remember you commented on this story. I can't remember what your comment was, though. I'm sure it was very insightful, though.
I can't remember.
I can't remember at this moment. The seasonal park opened in 1928. It was known for the role in the Tom Hanks classic where he does the I can't. What's it called, Tyler? The thing he talks to in the thing.
Zoltar.
Zoltar. That was Zoltar. Yep.
How did you know that?
I saw the movie.
Well, I know, but I mean, your recall of movies sometimes is really bad, and you had that one right away. I was very into it. That's good. Connor Evencho, who is 20 from Pumpton Lakes, New Jersey, turned himself in
Daniel Bracco, 19 from Oakland, New Jersey, surrendered himself. And Anthony Conkling, 19 from Wyckoff, New Jersey, turned himself in. All three charged with felony burglary, tough word for me, criminal mischief, and misdemeanor trespassing and larceny. And that is trash.
Give me Forrester's microphone, Tyler, if you could. So it's almost like Brown just realized that I was not playing a bit on the, like I played a bit for 16 years. I know movie and entertainment. I just act like I don't on the show.
So everything you've ever gotten wrong,
yes, is intentional.
Is a complete bit.
Yeah, I mean, do you think
that's a commitment to the bit?
You think Don Knotts walked around like Barney his whole life?
That's impressive, Jim.
It really is, because he does it a lot, Scott.
Insanity. Yeah. All right, that's our show today from Innisfree.
I've got Brooks' picks real quick.
Okay, give us Brooks' pick.
So we can do this for the record.
Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Yes.
Great Bud Light deals here at Innisfree all weekend long. You can do that. Innisfree, back in the day, you can go and when the first time he came here, you could get Bud Light. You still get Bud Light here at Innisfree, especially on game day, man. Come and enjoy a couple of good Bud Lights before you go in and cheer the Tide on at 2:30 tomorrow against Oklahoma. You got Brooks' pick?
That was pretty remarkable. Notre Dame minus 12.5 at Pitt. Brooks is going with the fact that Pitt ain't playing. So Notre Dame minus the 12.5.
One of mine, okay.
Ole Miss minus 11.5 against Florida. That makes me, that makes Brooks, that makes Scott on Ole Miss. That's a lot of people on Ole Miss right now.
Okay, that's two. Let's see if he's got one of Lance's here.
He does not. This is a new one. Big C, little O, CKS. Jack State Gamecocks. Oh, hell yes. Plus 3.5 against Kennesaw State. That is a massive Conference USA game, by the way, being played in Jacksonville Saturday night.
Kennesaw State really good in run defense. Jack State's really good at running the football. In fact, they need to run the football to win the game. It's got Conference USA championship implications on that one tomorrow night over in Jacksonville. That's our show here, man. Thanks to Innisfree. It's an iconic place. And thanks to our friends at Bud Light. Brownie, tell us about the great folks there where it's easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy is Bud Light. And you can get Bud Light all day long right here at Innisfree Irish Pub, just like this gentleman right here. Give me some knuckles right there. Yeah, that's right. That away. He's got him plenty of Bud Light. I can go ahead and tell you that. And he's going to have it for the rest of the afternoon, I would imagine. You could swing by here. It is a gorgeous day on the patio. Out here at Innisfree. It's a great place to start your game day tomorrow as well. Innisfree Irish Pub. Great food, great drinks, just a spectacular place here. It is absolutely a Tuscaloosa legend, Innisfree Irish Pub.
All right, we'll see you guys, of course, the post-game show with Mick and his crew right there after the conclusion of Oklahoma and Alabama. You get that on this same platform. Always a lot of fun and jocularity there. As Mick will point out to you, right as soon as the game is over with, right here. So that's tomorrow around 6-ish on the Next Round platform. And then, of course, we're back with you on Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.